Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your total eclipse of the heart boy, Jimmy, and I'm joined as always with
Big Tasty Tony B.
hell yeah, and
disastrous Dave, who was going to say total eclipse of my heart. It definitely got it stolen from him.
hell yeah. Sorry, I'm Black Hole Sun Jimmy, and you are.
No, that's all right.
Oh,
I'm
fine.
disastrous Dave.
All right, disastrous Dave. We're joining you live from Eclipse Monday.
Woo.
For all of those on the path of totality, which I think is most of our listenership. But hi, welcome. It was a fun, weird day.
It was a strange day.
Did everyone enjoy it? I know, Tony, you watched the live stream from NASA, so I'm sure you got the full experience.
I definitely did. I watched it the safe way.
Did you turn off your lights at the office when it?
I'm pretty sure,
just, and then put it back on.
It literally, like the office, it just got dark real quick, and I looked outside, and I was just like, "Wow, I've like jumped like 6 hours in time."
Yeah. Is it home time?
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. The animal kingdom started going berserk.
Idea. Yeah, I had no idea what to do with what was going on.
The streetlights came on and the animals were going crazy.
Birds plunging out of the sky. A coworker of mine sent me a text and she was like, these two ducks just plunged into my pool. Like at the moment the sun went down, it was just like thunk thunk. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was weird.
Chaos.
Weird.
Just absolute chaos.
Because we definitely had eclipses before where it's gotten dark, but maybe never that dark.
No, it's always been partial. The last total eclipse
of your
apparently
heart?
of my heart of Toronto GTA's region was like 1925. Wow. It was like the last totality event.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. We've had partial a bunch of times.
I just remember sometime in like elementary school where we couldn't go outside and it was dark. I remember it was dark.
Yeah.
But it obviously wasn't.
Yeah, it was like, don't stare at the fucking sun. Yeah. Yeah. It was just that weird, like we've had a few partials. There's a partial eclipse, I think back in like 2018 or 17 or something.
It was 2017 last time we had an eclipse.
There you go. Yeah. And it was a partial.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it was nuts when it actually went over. And I was happy it was not cloudy since it was cloudy all day.
Yes. But anyway, it's super busy and trafficy out there, and special shout out to my girlfriend who had to take the train home tonight so that I could record this episode. So
she knows her priorities.
She gets it.
She gets it, man.
She probably doesn't, and she's mad at me, but that's okay.
You'll survive.
Okay. We'll be fine.
You'll survive.
While we're here, do you want to talk about some movies? Do we have eclipse-based movies tonight, or just regular-based movies?
Just regular-based.
All right.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Should have timed that a little bit better on our
Yeah,
part.
Should have watched Twilight.
We should have just watched like weird disaster movies.
Yeah.
Like, Apocalypto would have been that would have been a proper eclipse movie.
People were having fucking parties today, and I was just like, it's making it sound like those end of the world parties in Independence Day when the aliens came down, and then like some shit just gonna happen.
Yep.
It's a Monday.
That's a Monday. Yeah,
that's fine. I'd rather the world end on a Monday.
That's true. That's true. You don't want it to end it on a good day.
No, let it end on the shittiest day. And I'll just be like, well, man, that tracks. How could this day get any worse? Anyway, we want to get to some movies now?
Yes.
Let's do it. So we're going to do some best, my worst? Hell yeah. Who wants to kick us off?
Will.
Wait, is it my turn to kick us off this time?
Yeah, why don't
if you want to kick us off, you kick us off.
Okay. I'm struggling on picking which one I kind of want to talk about. So I'm going to give a couple quick mentions to a couple other super bangers because I don't want to do an oopso bangers, and I do actually have them and a worst. So I feel very accomplished and proud of myself today.
Shocked.
Thank you.
Shock of all shocks.
Thank you. So I want to give a quick shout out to Love Lies Bleeding, which I did go see.
Banger.
And it was a fucking banger. It was great. I loved every minute of that movie. I'm so happy that I went to see that in the theater, and I was one of like 4 people there.
Scarlet.
And it was the Scarlet was everything.
Nice.
Actually, I wasn't 4. No, it was like 10 people.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good for a
A
couple
few
weeks
couples too. A few couples of different persuasions.
Nice.
And me and it was no for our main topic. I'll talk about how my theater was set up for that. But it was great. I also rewatched Titanic, which again I weeped uncontrollably for 1,500 people that I have absolutely no idea who they were or any connection to, but here we are. The only quick note I want to say about that movie is that James Cameron does a really good job making you care about side characters in that movie.
Like Fabrizio?
Fuck Fabrizio.
Hey, come on.
Or what about Vasquez and her kids?
Yeah, like there's like
which
weird...
is odd because she's Vasquez, who's definitely Spanish or Mexican in Aliens, and then she's like an Irish immigrant.
Oh
my God, is that Vasquez?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Yeah.
And she's also in Terminator. She's the foster mom in Terminator 2.
Yeah. Okay, I knew about the foster mom. I didn't know about Titanic.
And she's in Near Dark.
That's awesome. You just blew my mind.
Yeah. So
yeah, she's the one with the kids when the water's coming in and there's like the mom with her kids.
She's saying the good night story.
And she's like reading them on like a bedtime story. That's her.
That's her. So yeah, like just really good about making you care about side characters while this entire disaster is happening and then using things in different ways. Anyway,
did you ball your eyes out? Did you yell at the TV when she lets go?
When she lets go of Jack?
Yeah.
No, why?
Because
she said she's never going to let go. And then immediately lets go.
No, that is not what she was saying she's never going to let go to. She was never going to let go to the promise that she made him.
Oh, give me a fucking break.
That is the true dialogue that happens.
Jack, I'm never going to let go.
I'm never going to let go.
She gets
never going to let go.
He says, promise me, Rose. Promise me you're going to go on. You're going to survive. Whatever you do, promise me you're going to survive and never let go of that promise. To which she replies, I'll never let go, Jack.
And then immediately lets go.
And she immediately lets go.
Because he's not the promise. Anyway, we could argue about this all day. What I really want to talk about...
She just didn't care about the poor kid from fucking...
No, she certainly didn't.
The poor kid who won the trip on a poker game or whatever.
Yep. Didn't care about him. What I want to really talk about is I watched The Holdovers finally. I caught up and watched it.
Oh, holy shit.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like it has been a long time since we talked about that movie.
It has.
And I want it to sort of come from my experience of, watching it a little bit further on, post the Oscars, post everything. And wow, just like what an incredible performance all around.
Paul Giamatti
especially.
Dominic Sessa, buddy.
Dominic Sessa, incredible.
Divine Joy Randolph.
Incredible. And a truly a win, well deserved at the beginning of the Oscars, and now I can like totally see it and I understand.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
What they were getting at, but like the script is great and lightning, and it's a lot of. I didn't think it was too long or too short. I think it perfectly stayed its welcome.
Like that.
It just was a. It ended in a way that I didn't expect, but had such good character journeys and like learning and growth for everybody. And
what's the school called?
I don't remember right now.
Because I just remember like that, whatever the school's called, it's like those kind of men type thing.
Yeah, it doesn't even say in the summary what the school is called. Unfortunately, just
I'll come up with it. You keep talking.
You keep talking.
A campus in New England. But yeah, I don't know. I should have definitely watched it earlier, especially because I think it belongs in the gamut of Christmas movies and Christmas movies to watch. Yeah, Dave.
Barton Academy. So Barton Men.
Yes, Barton Men. And like what it means to be a Barton man. Sorry, Tom. What it means to be a Barton man. And yeah, it had a lot of growth. It was a great Christmas movie of all things, which
it's definitely a good Christmas movie for sure.
It's a very good Christmas movie, and just like well-written characters, beautifully acted, well shot, feel good in a way. And like even the ending was feel good in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Of like you feel good for the characters and the way things happen. Maybe not with the circumstances that they end up in, but
what was the line you like? That he's the human form of testicular cancer or whatever?
Yeah. When he calls the dean, you were the human form of testicular cancer. And it's like, oh no, not testicular, penis cancer.
Penis cancer.
Penis cancer.
Yeah.
And it's just so biting and thrilling and like.
Yeah, that was just savagery.
Yeah.
Savagery.
No notes on that. No notes.
No. So that's
I would have been happy if he won Best Actor.
Yep.
I I love what Cillian does in Oppenheimer, and I can't deny he was a terrific performance.
Absolutely.
Like top shelf performance, but like I wouldn't have been upset if Giamatti won.
It would have been an upset from like a predictions point of view, but it would have been not upsetting to see happen. Now, especially that I've seen the movie, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And good on him for wearing that contact lens to make the lazy eye that Nick Cage also would have done.
I love it.
I still love that picture of him in In-N-Out with his Golden Globe.
Yes.
Just like eating the burger.
Yes. And the fact that, that any award that he won, you just went to In-N-Out for.
I would have too. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's my best.
Nice.
It's a good one.
You want me to go or you want to go?
Why don't you go?
Okay.
Dave, what do you got?
So I'm just going to go back a little in time since we didn't talk about it last time. My best from a few weeks ago is David Fincher's Fight Club that me and James had the opportunity to see in 35 millimeter at the Playhouse in Hamilton. Shout out to them. Tony, you remember all like the filmic like
gimmicks?
Yeah. Like with like the burn marks. Yeah.
When the frame comes in on the sides and is like shaking towards Edward Norton's face or Brad Pitt's face, one of the two. Yeah.
Every single film bit that you've ever seen like digitally reproduced, it works a whole lot better on film.
Oh, I bet.
It looks like it was great. Like that thing got beat to shit because there was like definitely like wavy lines.
You could see the soundtrack on the left side.
On the left side, it was fucked, and there was definitely like a lot of scratches on the print. But
how was like the burn mark? Like when he does like this?
Oh,
like,
you see it.
Yeah,
it's still the same way type thing.
Yeah,
as the movie.
But
it just
should have like a different depth though. Being on film.
What was weird was, so they talk about it obviously, but even before that, you've already seen one burn mark come up, like the true burn mark in between the reels, right? Yeah. So like it's all kind of happening. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like it sells the gimmick so much better.
Yeah, like it's not the specific burn mark like reel change in that moment.
Yeah.
But like it's like you do see burn mark type things, but then like the single frames of Tyler. Work a lot better on film,
like a film,
because you definitely like it's very because it's literally just
like
one frame.
It's the one frame, right? Where you wouldn't notice it, and then what James was saying, where like it gets all wavy and fucked.
Yeah,
that part looks really fucking cool.
Nice,
and because the print was beat to shit, you weren't even 100% sure, and like so. To Dave's point on all this too, like I kept putting myself in the head of like, if I just went and saw this like fresh, never seen Fight Club before in my life, this was how I saw it in the theater. What the fuck? Like this would have fucked with my mind.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know if it's the actual print or like if it's part of the movie anymore. Like it all like fucks with your perspective of what's happening. Sorry, Dave, go.
No. That was specific. That was specifically what I wanted to talk about, was just like that all the film stuff works so much better when you're watching it on film, which obviously I should have known that, but having not seen Fight Club in years, I forgot about those little nuances that he edited into the movie. So it just works better when you're actually watching it on film as opposed to how I've always watched it on DVD.
Yeah.
Right. So it looked great, even though the print was beat to shit, and I forgot some of the little jokes type thing, and all like the little like breadcrumb type things where you like you figure out that it was him the whole time type thing.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a spoiler. Everybody knows who Tyler Durden is,
of course.
Yeah. But it was also interesting, like listening to the crowd.
Meatloaf, right? Meatloaf is Tyler Durden, right?
Okay. Yeah. It was interesting listening to the crowd reactions because at least the young ladies behind us, I don't think had ever seen it.
Yeah.
So they were all like newbies to it, and they were laughing at inappropriate times where I was like, okay, cool. Like it was from 99. You got to give it a chance, because they thought the sex scene was ridiculous, which in retrospect, it's pretty ridiculous.
It's kind of ridiculous.
But at the same time, it was 99. So they're like playing with CGI.
Yeah.
Like
he's experimenting. He's
experimenting. So like you can't watch it in 2024 and expect the same thing. Like you gotta,
it's still probably quite an experience just to see like what they did back then. Because like I haven't seen Fight Club in quite some time. Their bodies like kind of like melt together, right? Yeah
because they're melting together. Okay. But like I thought everybody would be disgusted or grossed out at the part where he's fighting with Lou, and like Lou comes down, he's like, who the fuck are you? He's like, Lou, it's Mom, the bar. I own the bar. And he beats the shit out of Brad Pitt, like beats him senseless type thing. And then Brad Pitt, like,
he's laughing and he's like
jumps up on him and
basically he's like spitting the blood into his face.
Vomits blood all over him type thing, and he's just like covered in blood.
It's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
You don't know where I've been, Lou.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's horrifying.
I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but it's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
And but nobody really reacted to it. But the bit where they're throwing the fat for the soap.
Oh yeah.
My they're
God.
throwing the
And
fat for the soap, and it goops.
Yeah.
It goops down, and they like trying to catch it type thing. Everybody's disgusted.
Yeah.
Everybody's
like, oh.
What about the Jared Leto beatdown? Because that one was pretty vicious too.
That part, no, but when Meatloaf's head
Robert Paulson's empty skull was
when that falls out, that got a reaction.
That was one that I forgot about that. Like I remember Robert Paulson, the whole thing, the fact that he died and all of that.
And it's that Holt guy we keep talking about.
Yeah. For Mindhunter. So like that happens, but then I forgot that they show like his cavernous skull from like the gunshot wound that he took.
Yeah.
It's violent as fuck.
Yeah, it's a really obscenely violent movie.
Yeah.
But it's so funny.
It's funny.
So funny, and it
held up really well.
Yeah.
All things considered.
It probably feels different now than it did back then.
Well, yeah, because people now people idolize Tyler Durden.
Yeah. But even from that end, like I think there was a point in time where it was just like, oh man, this is such a cool movie, coming at it from like the idolizing or enjoying Tyler Durden part.
The film bro aspect of it.
And there was a film bro beside me explaining it to his girlfriend. I was like,
ridiculous.
Get the fuck out.
But like the whole thing being about toxic masculinity, I think like really does still. It's why it still holds up.
Exactly.
Like the message is still.
The message still hasn't changed.
Yeah, which is
still very
sad.
much the same.
Which is sad. Yeah,
we're still dealing with the same bullshit.
Yeah,
it's only magnified worse.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's still a very, very good movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I still loved it. And yeah, there's a reason why the film bros kind of gravitate towards it.
Of course.
If there's ever an opportunity to see it on film, highly recommend this one.
I definitely want to take Melissa to see it.
It is worth it on film.
Yeah.
It's 25 years old this year.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't want to talk about this movie, but speaking of movies that are 25 years old.
Sure.
This one's actually 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Oh,
I saw that.
22 years old.
22 years old. Okay.
2002, right? Yeah,
2002.
Right after the towers fell.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
so
after the towers fell.
that movie still fucking holds up. We really didn't know how good we had it back then.
Yeah.
Defoe's insane in that movie.
Insane. Yeah. Also want to give a shout out to one of my personal favorites, another film bro classic, Snatch.
Sure.
Melissa did not appreciate me looking her straight in the eyes and quoting the movie without even looking at the screen, just knowing what scene it was, like what part was about to come up, and me just quoting it.
Yeah.
Was it? Did you quote Brad Pitt?
I fucking forgot Brad Pitt. I forgot. But he does not get enough credit for that fucking role. I think that is arguably one of his best roles for sure.
I'm sorry, do you not like Dags?
Of course I like Dags.
The boys want to pet
dogs. Yeah, I like Dags.
Stephen Graham, man. You want to see if I have the minerals?
The boys want a pair of them shoes.
Fucking, that was, and it was like introduced.
God.
Do you guys know who Jason Fleming is?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was like introducing Jason Fleming. Like that was one of his first movies. I was like, holy fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Statham's narration, and that's really good.
Nuts.
What's happening with sausages, Charlie? 2 minutes Turkish.
2 minutes, 5 minutes. You said 5 minutes.
Melissa was just like, is that where he fucking got it from? I'm like,
2 minutes Turkish.
That is literally, yes. Anyways, the movie that I want to talk about, that movie is still amazing.
It's
banger.
So good.
Melissa hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
She got like half an hour in and she was like, wait, I don't understand. And I was just like, just follow the diamond. Just stick with the diamond. The diamond is your key to the story.
Yeah.
They're all trying to get it.
Can I call you Bullet? Tooth? Call me Susan if that makes you happy. love it. I love that so much.
Movie I want to talk about, the new Sydney Sweeney movie called Immaculate.
Oh,
That movie is immaculate.
wow, immaculate.
It is something else.
It's the pro-choice movie you
It
didn't
is
know you
definitely
wanted.
it is definitely the pro-choice
All right.
movie. If you've ever read what anyone's reaction was that you saw, if you follow Sydney Sweeney, she was reposting everyone's TikToks of the last 10 minutes of the movie. I did not take that seriously. I thought it was just a last 10 minutes.
Hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic.
James,
yes.
that last 10 minutes, holy shit. The final shot,
Yeah.
oh my Jesus.
We on like Saint Maud levels of final shot?
James, you think it's going to end?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is where it's going to end. And then it doesn't.
Oh no.
And then you're like, oh, it'll end here. And then it doesn't.
Oh no.
Do you remember did you ever see Pearl?
Yeah.
So you remember how that ends with her just smiling at the screen?
Yeah.
Spoilers for Pearl, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney rivals it
Shit.
in a horrific way.
Shit. She's rivaling Mia Goth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Seriously.
All right. Okay.
It definitely, like,
I didn't know if I wanted to see this movie, and now
No, dude,
I kind of want to see this movie.
I wasn't really like for it or anything, but I like saw a bunch of shit and like the times just matched up. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm
Nice.
gonna go see this fucking movie. And I do not regret it. It
Okay.
was a nice, what was it? It was like 98 minutes.
it was shorter than that. It might have been like
89
minutes.
Brisk 89 minutes. You know how we love our 89-minute movies on this podcast.
Absolutely.
It is definitely a must-see and a must-see horror movie for this year.
Done.
Also, we were talking about obscenely violent. Obscenely
Violent.
It's like a slow burn, and then it just keeps hitting you with obscene violence, and you're like, oh.
You don't really think of it at first, but like literally as it just like slowly creeps up on you.
Yeah.
And then it just
Yeah.
introduces a little fucked up. And we're like, yeah, that's a little fucked up. And then it gets a little bit more fucked up. And then you're like, okay, how can it get more fucked up? And then it gets even more fucked up. And then it just literally just keeps fucking topping itself.
It just keeps topping itself.
It was a ride.
Fuck.
And we saw it on like a Friday night. We were expecting like, the riffraff to take over, but we had a fucking great crowd.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was into it.
Where were you guys at for that one? Mountain or
We saw the mountain. Yeah.
Mountain, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A good crowd at Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was like 4 like shitheads that came in, but they got immediately like they just left.
They left because it was not their.
It was not their cup of tea.
Their cup of tea.
It was not their tempo. But yeah, I think that was a good way of putting it, Tony. That it creeps up on you and it just gets progressively.
It just keeps going, and you're like, it can't get any worse than that. And it's like, nope, we're gonna do it again and do it again and do it again. And then you get to the last 10 minutes, and you're like, fuck. And then you get to the last shot, and you're just like, holy fuck, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if Sydney Sweeney wasn't a star before, this is it.
This is it.
This
This
is no
is
other
her moment.
This is her moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has cemented herself among the scream queens of horror.
Fuck. Okay.
And like, good for her too, because she like tried out for, or she auditioned for this movie like 10 years ago or something,
Yeah.
and they didn't end up making it. And now that she has like the cachet that or what do you call it, cachet type
Cachet.
thing,
Yeah.
like now that she has that in Hollywood, she
went and bought the rights to it.
She got it.
Yeah.
She
She
was
was like, I
produced
want
it
to make this
herself.
movie.
Wow. Dang. Shit. Okay.
Like, good for her. She
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
she went out.
She did the thing.
She got the bag and she went and fucking did the thing.
She's the definition of she did the thing.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we understand.
Yes, exactly. But good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
That's amazing.
And like this, I think this is definitely like the new wave is going to be like star producers.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's the only thing that's gonna get how these movies are gonna get made.
Because
Right?
Barbie was a big star producer movie too.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie is definitely like one of the like pioneer like women actresses, you fucking idiot. Actresses who are buying shit up or making shit and
Yeah.
then starring in it.
Yeah.
So
You
Nice.
do what you got to
Well,
do to
fuck.
get the movie made, man.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's doing well. People are
Amazing.
seeing it. Now
I'm
the-
gonna go
the-
check it out.
The first Omen's out, which I think they probably should have changed the date on
Yeah,
that
they
one. But
should
I
have.
heard that movie fucks too.
Yeah, I can't
Dang.
wait to see that one.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
excited for that one.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch The Omen first.
Apparently it dovetails in very nicely type thing, but like you don't have to watch it.
Well, I still will because I don't think I've seen it, so I feel like I should
Yeah, but they like ruined the one bit because they can't. In the Omen, they basically suggest that he was born that the Antichrist was born from a jackal.
Yes.
And the first Omen is not.
The Omen?
You've either seen the original or that bastardized remake that they forced out just so they could hit that
666.
That release date.
I have seen the original Omen, the Richard Donner directed one. Yeah, okay. Because the moment you said the Jackal, I went, I've seen this fucking movie.
So apparently they like reference the jackal type thing, but like obviously it's not a jackal.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Jackal. This is a jackal.
It's the jackal. It's a jackal. It's dignity. Sorry.
It's always coming around to a fucking Family Guy bit, isn't it?
The jackal's and then I subbed in a Simpsons reference there. It's dignity, Luann.
I love it.
Can I borrow a feeling?
I love that too.
James, hit us with your meh.
I'm struggling to pick which meh I want to put somewhere. Part of me wants to talk about American Fiction as a very high meh, because I did enjoy it. But I think I actually want to talk about a movie that I kind of watched just slightly more recently than that. That is a true middle of meh.
Sure, let's hear it.
As I think I've mentioned at points, I'm rewatching all of Pixar. I watched Brave, a movie I had seen pieces of over time, but never front to back. Okay. And I'm putting that solidly in a meh category.
That's fair.
As a movie that had so many good ideas, and then I feel like 6 writers fucked it all up. Because fair. It doesn't, my biggest issue with it, doesn't have a clear villain. Who the fuck is the villain in that movie?
Mordu.
Is he? He's just kind of there in the periphery as like a giant bear thing.
I was going to say it's the bear, isn't it?
Is it?
But wait, isn't the bear
is it
her
Merida?
Mom? Isn't the
is
bear
it her mother? The bear is
yes, her mom.
There's 2 bears.
There's two bears.
Yeah. So we're talking about the big evil bear is Mordu, and then she turns her mom into a bear.
Yes. Okay.
But who the clear villain is in this movie, I don't know.
Like
bear?
I guess mother-daughter relationships.
Trauma? Is the true villain
trauma?
We're trying to yeah, I guess. Generational trauma.
Generational trauma. That is the villain.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Doesn't work for a Disney movie, but sure.
It's a Pixar movie, so it kind of does. Like, you literally just watched Inside Out. What's the villain in Inside Out? Like feeling, like sadness,
suppressing your feelings.
Suppressing your feelings is the villain.
Yeah. But
Bing Bong was the villain.
Bing Bong was trying to help.
Bing Bong is
best.
Don't you
ever speak ill.
I bawled my eyes out at Bing Bong.
Keep Bing Bong's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah, all right.
I did not bawl at Bing Bong this time, just to put that out there as a thing. It didn't hit me as hard.
Yeah.
But also there was parts of that movie I didn't remember. Anyway, back to Brave.
Brave.
An interesting movie that I feel like, first of all, I think there's a lot of things that has to go right for a Pixar movie to make it work. A very good, clear message and story. And easy. See, we just had to sit here and question what the villain was in Brave. Whereas Inside Out, even though it's a concept, it's very clear.
Yes.
I feel like it's messy and not clear in Brave what you're trying to deal with until it's a little bit too late. Also, the score is not memorable. The characters are fine, I guess. They got some really good actors, like Billy Connolly's great.
I like Billy Connolly.
What's his name?
Who plays the girl? Is it like a recognizable actress?
Kelly Riley, or
it is? I will tell you right now. It is Kelly MacDonald.
Kelly MacDonald.
Okay.
Emma Thompson is her mom.
Okay, yeah.
And then there was Robbie Coltrane was one of the 3 Klansmen.
Nice.
Kevin McKidd was in there. Craig Ferguson is another one.
I was about to say Soap is.
Yeah.
Soap's one of them.
Yeah.
I remember
and then your usual, like John Ratzenberger's in it, like your usual Pixar names.
I knew her name was Kelly.
Kelly, yes, you did get that right. I'm very impressed.
Did you have to put the subtitles on? Because I remember her accent is
it's
very thick.
Yeah, Billy Connolly's is thicker. I feel like hers is quite thick.
I feel like I can understand Billy Connolly, but hers
was tough.
Is a little tough because I saw that movie in theaters and I know it was tough. Yeah. I saw it with my ex who was very big on Disney. And I remember it being very, very unmemorable. And then it won the Oscar.
Very unmemorable.
And then I don't really feel like anybody really talks about it.
No,
and
this is probably the first time anybody's referenced Brave in a long time.
That was fucked up. I don't know what that was. What was I going to say? They make fun of her accent in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, they do.
Or
yeah.
When
she meets the princesses, yeah. I did like the fact that it was like, oh, here's a new princess. It had been a while at that point for Disney to bring in a princess, because I think it was before Frozen and all of that.
Yeah. It was just before Frozen and right after Tangled.
Yeah, so it had been a bit anyway, and they were just kind of getting back to
the only real Pixar princess.
Yeah. But I found watching these all back to back that Pixar, like, you can see the technological leaps and bounds that they're taking in between these movies, and like the world of Brave looks stunningly gorgeous. Like, it is, they figured out a lot, and like the animals in it all look great, and like
and her three little brothers.
And the three little brothers are great characters. They're fantastic. But there's just so much that's just not memorable about it. And it just kind of sits solidly in a, like, I've watched it now from front cover to cover, and now I'm probably never going to watch it again, because like I don't care enough about it. It just doesn't have enough going for it to keep it memorable.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
So Matt, solid Matt. Dave.
So this one is, I'm going to put it as a high meh, low best, but it's also a movie I feel like I'm going to like more if I watch it again, but I don't know if I'm going to put myself through it again anytime soon.
Right.
It's Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, which I watched.
It is, yeah. That's a film, buddy.
I watched in 2 parts, and the second part I watched immediately after I watched Immaculate on Good Friday. So that was a choice. That was a choice that
was
day.
Definitely a choice.
But I don't remember loving it when I first saw it on VHS with Tony back in the day. That's how long
really
we got that from memory. The library,
of course.
Like we watched it on. That's how long it's been that I last watched it on VHS. But it's very well made and very well acted. Like Dafoe is so good in it.
So good.
He's so good, and it's Paul Schrader.
Yep.
So hearing Jesus's inner feelings and narration is very, very much like when you're listening to it, you're like, okay, yeah, of course Paul Schrader wrote this. But it's just like it humanizes him.
Yeah.
Because like the three of us grew up Catholic, so Jesus isn't really he's not a human type thing. Like we all treat him as a god, the Messiah type thing. Like we don't really look at him as a man who made mistakes or a man who didn't really understand his place until later.
Yeah.
Type thing. And it's interesting seeing him kind of, I guess, Jesus Begins type thing. Like at one point it's literally just, I guess it's just the way it's framed type thing, but it's just like a best of all the stories or all like the parables and things that you remember, like him turning water into wine, him fixing the guy's ear,
feeding the 5,000,
healing the blind,
the blind guy,
the leper,
Lazarus.
Lazarus from the dead. Sure, yeah.
He brings Lazarus back from the dead. He makes the one guy not blind anymore, type thing. But it was
with the cloth, right?
Yeah. But it's literally like. At one point I was sitting there, I was like, this is like Jesus's greatest hits. Yeah. And it was wacky, or at least in my mind, it was wacky, but it was just, it's very interesting how he does it. But the film is called Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Do you remember what do you remember what it refers to?
Him in the desert.
Well, that scene's like a key scene in the middle of the movie, and it goes on for quite a while.
But that's the last.
That's not what they're talking about in this movie. The last temptation is the devil talking to him while he's on the cross.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. So it plays. That's how it plays out.
Yeah.
Where it plays out as in like he accepts. He doesn't realize it's the devil giving him the offer type thing, but yeah. Like it plays out and they show what happens type thing and where it goes from there. But it comes way too late in the movie. The movie's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I think it like hits around like the 2 hour and 10 mark.
Yep.
Like if you're going to call the movie The Last Temptation of Christ, it needs to come up a little sooner.
Yeah.
It needs to come up sooner. And then how it plays out is very interesting. And then it leads into the thesis of the movie, which is this beautiful scene with, oh my God, what's his fucking name? It's going to bother me. Oh my God, I don't know his name right now.
I have it. Who are you thinking of?
I had it.
Character name or actor name?
The actor. Oh my God.
Paul Greco.
No.
Stephen Schill.
No.
Harvey Keitel.
No.
Barry Miller.
You're going to...
Gary
Bowie.
Basaraba. Irving Kershner. Victor Argo.
No. Why don't I know
Michael
your
Biehn.
stupid name?
Paul Herman.
Victor Argo.
Tony, you know who this person is. He's a character actor. He's in everything. He died recently.
Andre Gregory. Thomas Arana. Alan Rosenberg.
Oh my God. He's old. He's always old.
He's always
Donald
old.
Hodson.
You guys are killing me.
Oh man.
Peter
yeah.
Burley.
I have no idea.
Oh my God. What's
Dude, I don't
his-
recognize any. Oh,
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Harry Dean
Harry
Stanton.
Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton has a scene late
Yeah.
in the film
I remember this from your review.
where he's talking about, he's basically like a prophet and he's talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's basically how we know Jesus. And Jesus comes to him and kind of questions him. He's like, that's not how it played out. And he says something to the effect of, well, you can't tell me that type thing. Like, this is who Jesus is this is who you are in my head. And it's who I'm going to tell the people you were type thing. Like, I don't want to know you. I don't want you to tell me if it was real or not. Like, this is what I heard and this is how I'm going to tell it. And it kind of spoke to like the reality of how the story passed down,
Yeah.
right? That maybe this isn't fan fiction, Jesus fan fiction. Maybe this is the real thing. Like, it was it's just a very hard hitting scene.
Well, like we don't know what happened, right? We only know from the stories they told, right? So it's easy. It could easily be manipulated, right? Because like they could be like, "Whoa, I don't really like that, but this works better for a story." Like,
yeah. So that's basically what the scene is, and it's kind of basically like, this is what the Bible's going to be type thing. So it's just a very well done scene, and Harry Dean Stanton sells the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to your point, David Bowie as Pontius Pilate, nuts.
Yeah.
Fucking Barbara
So
Hershey
nuts.
as Mary Magdalene,
Yeah.
nuts. Harvey Keitel as Judas,
A choice.
nuts. It's a choice.
Definitely a choice.
And
Isn't he playing it like an Italian American, basically?
it's wild.
He's basically like he's basically like the boy from down the street in the neighborhood that you knew in the neighborhood. And
He's Guido Sanducci
from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
all the apostles are all the good old Italian boys from down the street that you would go home, you bring home to mama type thing.
It's a Scorsese movie, of course. It was like that.
Very much. Were you just like, who oh yeah, Martin Scorsese directed this. Oh yeah, that explains why all of these apostles are very Italian.
I don't want to talk super long on it so that we can keep this moving, but also like I really enjoyed it. I remember liking it a lot. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. And I think it was part of the Criterion challenge that we were doing a few years back. And that's when I watched it.
That makes sense. It's a Criterion.
Yeah, it is.
I popped in.
So watching it, like I remember I kind of liked, the greatest hits thing was weird, but I also kind of liked the way that I know The Last Temptation technically comes very, very late, but I like the things that it focused on that were kind of, some of the things that it focused on were not things that have ever really been put into other movies or other media. Sometimes it's been like, you think of like The Passion of the Christ and it's very specific on what it's focused on, or you think of like Ben-Hur and it's kind of Jesus adjacent, which I always find the most hysterical thing about that movie is that Jesus is just happening in the background and Ben-Hur exists. So like there's just like little like there isn't a movie that kind of like focuses on that sort of like post-birth, because there's tons of movies about his birth and all of that shit. But it's kind of like that midsection and like that he was a man, and I liked the angle that it took. And then to your point, like the entire thing about like, was this what happened? We're never going to really know. Like there's only certain facts that we are aware of, but the way that oral history worked, facts like there's facts of like there's registrations
what's
that like
written in the
there
Bible.
was probably a guy named Jesus at that point, because there's a historical record
most certainly
somewhere.
Wasn't white.
Yeah, and he most certainly wasn't white and all of that. But like, yeah, was there? Did all this shit happen? We'll never know. But this is the way that it was passed down. Were things exaggerated? Were things cranked to 11? Did he like heal the blind or just like fix a guy with cataracts? I don't fucking know. But it didn't matter. That's what people saw and believed, and that's what was told. And I don't know. I really liked it. I didn't end up putting it in a Met. It was very, very well done for me.
Like, that's why I said it's a high Met. Like, I feel like I'll like it more if I watch it again. When I watch it again, Scorsese, I'm going to watch it again. But for me, it was just like it went on a little too long, and I agree. The Italian it's neighborhood guys are weird. It's weird.
Scorsese being a Roman
Peter
Catholic.
Gabriel did the fucking score.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Scorsese being a Roman Catholic and kind of grappling with his own faith throughout that movie, and I think Willem Dafoe to an extent as well. And it's an interesting lens to take from Paul Schrader's script and then Marty directing it. It's interesting.
It is a good movie. And it's very interesting, and it's very well done. It's just like it's too long. There's certain parts that are a little overindulgent, and there's just like, I think I would love it more if The Last Temptation came a little sooner. I'm not gonna tell Marty how to cut it. No. Marty and Thelma how to cut a movie, but I just would have liked it better if it came a little sooner.
Anyway, Willem Dafoe holding up his own Criterion, going, "Hey, look at this! Look at who it is the greatest. Is the greatest thing of that Criterion closet.
Anything of Willem Dafoe.
Hey, look, it's this guy." Anyway, it's a good moment. Tony.
Yes, Tony.
For my Matt, I'm picking a movie that was aggressively average.
He was working hard to be average.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is a little film that came out recently. It is Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it's a meh. I wanted that movie to be good because I've always been kind of interested in Bob Marley.
I don't know that much about Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I thought Bob Marley was assassinated. He was not.
No. He just died.
He just died. He died of cancer.
Yeah. Probably from smoking all that weed.
No, right? he had cancer in his toe.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's such
toe cancer.
He literally had cancer in it, and he just refused to go to the doctor.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to get off the tour or something like that.
Why didn't they just lob off his toe?
I don't know.
They can get you a toe.
The movie. It's not your traditional biopic. It relies heavily on his music. I think the only reason why I was invested in it was because of the music.
Sure.
What's his name? Kingsley
Benadire.
He is like transcendent. Like he is something else as Bob Marley. Like he fully encapsulates the character and like he just becomes him.
Nice.
Right? Really well done. What's her name? Something Lynch.
Lashana
Lynch as Rita Marley. She is next level. I think she was the real MVP of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
That checks out.
And then other than that, it's not your traditional biopic. I was expecting a true biopic, and it wasn't. It just kind of like centered around like his like the last like couple months of his life, basically, like around like the peace conference and like them trying to get him to do a concert, and he's like, no, I don't want to do it for you guys because like Jamaica was in like
it was going through shit.
It was going through shit. But other than that, if you're a fan of the music, you'll dig it. Cool. Melissa really enjoyed it. I was like half and half on it. Like I said, like if you're, it relies heavily because like they play his music a lot throughout, and it's like literally like cover to cover of his music.
Yeah, it was produced by one of his kids, I think, too, right? Like Junior, Ziggy, and Rita.
Well, that makes sense if they got the rights to the music. That always makes or breaks the movie. There was that one David Bowie movie.
Yeah.
Didn't have the Bowie before Bowie, but no Bowie music.
Yeah. Oh, there was no Damien Jr. going Marley. That makes me sad.
It was the same director who did King Richard.
Yeah.
So the directions is pretty decent, but like I said, like I don't know what I was expecting. I know a lot of people hate on it, and a lot of people said it was garbage. But I still found some enjoyment in it only because like I was vibing to his music. And I kept saying Rasta to Melissa after the city because literally like you could turn it into a drinking game how many times he says it.
You're silly.
Yeah, I know, very silly. But other than that, just very aggressively mediocre. Yeah.
Mediocre.
But he was but like I said, Kingsley,
Benadir
and Lashana Lynch, fabulous.
Aces.
They knock it out
cool.
of the park. Those two,
I might check it out
for sure.
I might check it out.
Kingsley was Malcolm X in the
One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is something. He's going to be a big deal because like he is fire in everything that he's in.
He's coming up a long way.
Yeah, because he was the best part of Secret Invasion. Like he has a little bit in Barbie.
Yes,
as well,
does, yeah.
which he's fucking amazing in. Keep your eye on this guy.
I was gonna say he was at the Oscars. He was there with Simo.
he was there with Sima for sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
because I've been intrigued. I didn't get to see it in theaters, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll wait for it to be on VOD, and then I'll check it out.
Yeah. That's how I caught it. So
Nice. Will do.
Yeah.
Ready for my worst?
Yes.
All right. Dave, you'll be happy to know. It's gonna make you so proud of me that my worst movie is Cars 2. Cars 2 is an abomination and a piece of shit.
I am overjoyed to hear you say this.
I don't understand.
You don't like Larry the Cable Guy as a main character?
I don't understand half of the choices that are being made in that movie. Like, what the fuck is even going on? Like,
capital C choices.
There is a very interesting race series going on, and honestly, when it's focused on Lightning McQueen and like the races, it's aces. It's actually like well shot racing. And it's like intense and intriguing, and like there's these huge courses, and like there's the dirt section, and like he like scoots like I was like, oh fuck yeah. And then every time it cuts back to whatever the fuck Mater's doing, I'm like, I don't give a shit about anything that is happening here. I don't care about Michael Caine. I don't care. It also brought up way too many existential moments for me of so these cars get on a plane to go to Japan. They get on I'm sorry, they don't get on a plane, they get in a plane, because you have to assume that the belly section of the plane is an actual stomach. So this plane is ingesting these cars, and then why do the cars have seats? I don't know. Why does a car need a seat on the plane? It's already a car. What is it in a lie flat seat for? What is it lying flat against? I don't understand. Why is Mater eating wasabi? Why does wasabi exist in the Cars universe? Who uses wasabi? They're fucking cars. I don't know. And other points, they're ordering fucking oil and shit to drink like cars. Why are they eating wasabi?
James, it's a kid's movie.
I don't care.
But is it, Tony? Because it's an espionage James Bond thriller.
Yeah. Shoved into a Pixar movie.
And it also has a big message about like gas and oil.
Yeah.
Well, Pixar is always trying to
Sure.
It has some heady ideas, and to James's point, I like a lot of the espionage stuff with fucking Michael Caine. Like, I don't care about Mater. But when Michael Caine is being James Bond, like Finn McMissile type thing, when he's being James Bondy, it's cool.
He pulls off some cool fucking moves too, and like the tech that is built into him is very cool.
And like Mater's girlfriend is Holly Shiftwell. Like, that's clever. Come on. Yes. For a Disney movie, it's clever.
Yes.
And then like Bruce Campbell's in it.
Yes.
And fucking who's the guy who runs the race? Miles Axelrod.
I saw her. I saw her. No, I saw her, Dave.
Her?
Yes.
Who's Miles Axelrod?
Miles Axelrod is Eddie Izzard.
Oh, it's Eddie Izzard. Yes. Okay. No,
so
I thought it was Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, no, it's Eddie Izzard.
Okay. I apologize. That's why I was arguing. I was like, it's Ricky Gervais, isn't it?
No.
Okay, Eddie Izzard. Okay, yeah. That's fine.
Yes.
Apologies. I thought it was
it's fine. You thought it was someone else.
Like, she's really good.
Yeah.
She's really good. And it's just like, it's because they took the wrong... It was too the wrong focused. Horse.
It was too focused on Mater and less focused on Lightning McQueen. And there's so much more interesting stuff happening in Lightning McQueen. Like, if you just cut Mater out of this movie, and I know they couldn't because kids, and I understand that, but then to focus solely on James. It, I am aware of the Materhausen.
He's in Materhausen. I think it's two movies smashed together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because the racing thing is not interesting enough on its own.
Yeah. And
that they need something else happening, and they can't just focus on Mater. They need to have Lightning McQueen in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just becomes this podge mess of two movies trying to exist in the same moment, and they just doesn't work.
But the little details again. All the little details are so good.
Yeah.
All like the little things are good, and all like the little references are great. It's just like
agree.
All thrown to when it's put together, it just doesn't work.
It did make me question, how are the boats in the bay in Italy watching the race? They're just all chilling in the bay, and like they can maybe see one half section of a track, but what the fuck are they doing? Like, why are there even yachts in the water? Does a car own a boat? Or does the boat just exist on its own? Do you see how many questions this universe brings up for me?
A lot of questions.
I can't. I can't.
And you haven't gotten to Cars 3 yet, right?
No.
So you're going to see how aggressively they pivot again.
Yeah,
it's aggressive.
But I remember you saying that Cars 3 is significantly better.
Oh yes.
Although it's missing a key component that would have made it great.
Yes.
So I'm intrigued to see how it plays out, because I've never seen Cars 3. I've seen parts of Cars 2. And now I know why I've only ever seen parts, and I don't give a fuck about this movie.
Doc Hudson's not in Cars 2, right?
Correct. Yeah, they use him as
there you go.
archival, I think, in Cars 3. I was reading because I was trying to figure out what happened, and then I realized, he died.
You'll get there, but Doc Hudson, he's the key, and him being missing in Cars 2 is exactly what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Exactly what's wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and Materhausen,
and the car mafia, which
there's a car mafia.
There's an entire car mafia. I do not remember
this fucking movie.
There's like a James Bond fucking Blofeld villain.
Yeah,
I knew that.
He's off screen the entire time.
Was it a PS3 game that we played, or PS2 game?
I don't know, man.
Would have been PS3 at the time.
PS3, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's just bad. Bad Pixar. Bad.
Materhausen.
No.
It's literally their worst movie.
It's
by a large margin.
By a long shot.
By a very, very large margin.
Yeah. Like it's a lot of everything else so far has been like, it's like it's trying to rank various degrees of meh. But this one was just like, we finished it and it was like to the bottom. Perfect. Thank you. And this will be our baseline of how bad Pixar can fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before they realize they can't just fucking pump out a sequel and fill it with poop and fart jokes.
This is true.
Also, the Japanese toilet was objectively a little bit funny.
I'm telling you, there are some funny parts, and like some of the details are pretty incredible, but it's...
Yeah, when they go to Japan and they go to a Lightning McQueen themed store, and the little car squeeze and falls over is legitimately... There's legitimately stupid funny moments, but not enough. Not enough. It's too much garbage to deal overall.
Yeah. I don't know. Finn McMissel's cool as shit.
Finn McMissel's cool as shit, but that's not enough to save this movie.
No, it's not.
Go.
Okay, so my worst is Alex Garland's Men, which I think we may have talked about in a long time ago, but I finally saw it. I've never seen it.
Finally watched it?
I've never seen it.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've never seen it. It is... Oh boy.
Yeah.
It is not good. It is not good.
Like,
I would say it's a big mess.
I will watch Jessie Buckley read a phone book back cover to cover.
Sure.
I would not watch this ever again.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going for here. Like, there's definitely different. Well, the
it's not subtle.
It's not subtle.
It's not subtle.
It's
that
not
was literally
subtle.
my review. I was just looking at it. I'm like, this is the least subtle
It's
movie
not,
I've ever watched.
It's not subtle.
No.
And, you know, it is about how, like, men are shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But he somehow stretches that message out for 2 hours.
It's so one note.
And it's just like, it's very, like, episodic for a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like the movie should have been like at least
Followed-
like yeah.
And then there's like the interstitials between her and her ex-husband,
Yeah.
which, okay. But it's,
If it was like 90 minutes, I feel like it would have worked better.
it just gets
Maybe.
weird. It just,
Yeah.
it's weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah.
Like, I know Annihilation is weird,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's a point to Annihilation.
No, there's a lot, and there's a lot more happening in Annihilation.
But for men, it's just
It's
weird
not.
for the sake
Yeah.
of being weird. And it is very much a COVID movie.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Very much a COVID movie.
Yeah.
And Rory Kinnear fucking goes for it, boys. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes
Oh, yeah.
for it.
MVP.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
hats off to him.
Like, Jesse Buckley's great.
Yeah.
It's just like everything around
Everything
them
else.
and what they're doing, it just,
Yeah.
it's bad. I
Yeah,
can't believe
yeah.
how bad it was. But all that to say, the first half, like the second half is very much in the dark.
Yeah.
But the first half is in the light.
Yeah.
But a lot of like forest photography. And there's
gorgeous.
a lot of stuff he does with like reflections in the
Mhm.
water. And it looks so fucking great.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing what he's doing there with the camera there, and his the cinematographer is doing fucking incredible work. But yeah, and then it devolves into just darkness and fucking
Yeah.
fucking weirdness for the sake of weirdness and body horror for the sake of body horror.
Yeah. Body horror was seriously fucked shit.
Oh no,
though. Like
it's
that.
it's fucked.
That was unsettling
Yeah,
nonsense.
that last half an hour was rough.
It's fucked up and just like
Yeah, I'm not saying it as a point. It's just like those visuals are still sometimes in my head where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, remember that shit? Like,
yeah, I went in with low expectations and I still was kind of sitting there and I'm like, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Why are we going here? What is going on? And then it's over.
And then it's done. It's like, yeah, you get the message right away, and then you're just kind of sitting there like, how many fucking times are we going to say the same thing over and over again?
And it doesn't really go anywhere. It just kind of ends. It just kind of peters out.
Yep.
And then it's ambiguous for the sake of ambiguous.
Yeah. It's a big whiff.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good.
Swing and a miss.
Tony.
Got a worst for you guys that tops both of yours.
Oh, really?
You're going
I
to dig
saw
under Cars too?
Yeah, I am. I finally convinced Melissa to watch this nice horror film that came out in January that everyone was buzzing about. It is a film called Night Swim.
Oh, yeah, where the pool is angry at you.
Yeah.
The pool is the villain.
The pool is the villain.
The pool is the villain.
Question, guys.
Yeah.
If a pool like just randomly kills people,
Yeah.
why don't you just
Don't go in the pool.
or fill
it.
Yeah. I had to fucking wait 90 how fucking long is this movie?
90 odd minutes, yeah.
90 odd minutes for them to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Like
But
give me
Wyatt
a,
Russell.
Yeah.
yeah, he's
All I've heard about this movie
Yeah.
is that this movie should have just been a short.
it literally felt like that, and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was a
It
short,
was a short.
but it was literally like
Should have stayed that way.
you could tell that they stretched it. Sorry, 98 minutes. I was on the
Oh
ball.
my God. Fuck off.
I waited 98 minutes for them to be
Fuck
like, you know
off.
what, we're just gonna fill it.
Fuck
Yeah.
off.
There was like a couple
Well,
good
you say that though, like Poltergeist. There's weird shit happening in the house. Just leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but like
it's our home.
Yeah, and then they take Carol Ann. I get it, but still.
So I'm just gonna give a little
Yeah.
spoiler alert. I'm gonna save you guys from all this shit. They say they should leave the house, and then the kid goes, "But mommy, what if somebody else falls into the trap?" Oh, okay.
It's not your fucking problem, kid. Let's
we're
go.
we're gonna be the guardians. So they literally stay in the house so they can
and still
make sure.
don't fill the pool.
No, they fill the pool. They definitely fill the pool.
Okay.
They fill the pool, and there's like a little light narration of them being like, "We're the guardians, and we have to protect people from this fucking pool." Yeah.
But if you filled it, why do you need to protect anybody from it? From cracking it open again? Like,
yeah, I guess.
You filled it with cement. It's no longer a pool. It's a brick of cement in the ground.
But it was like literally like this pool was literally like the fountain of youth, because like Wyatt Russell's character is like a guy who gets injured. He's a big famous like baseball player, gets injured, and then he goes into the pool, and then all of a sudden he's not injured anymore. And he's like batting like the best he's ever been. And he's like trying to
the
like
monkey's
work
paw
it, right?
of pools.
Exactly.
Got
right.
it.
But like
the pool giveth and the pool taketh away.
Literally, buddy, you don't even need to see the movie. You've already got the movie.
Of course I don't need to see the movie. It's so fucking basic.
Yeah. It was like the vanilla bean of horror movies.
There you go.
I just, when you were saying that they have to be guardians and stuff, I'm just thinking of The Ring, where it's literally, they don't, like, they need to stay alive. They don't care who gets fucked by it.
Yeah.
Like, they're just staying alive.
Yeah.
Which is also to say, in the current climate, economic climate that we're in, political climate, I don't think people would care.
Yeah.
No, but like this seems like a happy-go-lucky ending that's not realistic.
Yeah. It was just a whole lot of like
junk.
It was just bad. I can't believe that and this is gonna sound horrible coming out of my mouth, but I can't believe they gambled on this.
Yeah.
Like other movies didn't get made so that this movie could get made. It was just avoid it like the plague. Yeah. It was a half a star better than Madame Web.
Oh, wow. Wow. Let's sing something for Madame Web.
And the only reason why it was half a star is because it was 40 minutes shorter than Madame Web.
Or
half an hour shorter.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this movie was
3 hours shorter.
Trash.
Yeah. It should have been 96 minutes shorter.
Yeah. Yeah, avoid it like the plague. Don't watch it. Wyatt Russell, like if you're a big Wyatt Russell fan, I can name you at least 5 better movies with Wyatt Russell in it.
Go.
Everybody Wants Some, Overlord, Goon 2,
Last of the Enforcers.
Goon 2, Last of the Enforcers.
Okay, yes. I got 3.
Yeah,
I'm
3 for 2 more.
Wyatt Russell.
The interview with him and his dad, very good.
That's very good. That's Monarch. Funny. There you go. That's a TV show that counts too.
Boom, done. 5.
Boom, done.
What, Table 19?
No.
You didn't like that one?
No, I didn't really like that one.
What's Soldier?
He's in Soldier?
Yeah, he's like Kurt Russell as a kid.
Oh, that's funny.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's funny.
Tony, I'm disappointed. You said 5. You said 5. I was waiting for 5.
I got 3. I got 3 right there.
I was waiting for 5.
Oh, this is 40. And
this is 40's trash, Tony.
Okay, so I'll take that one back. I was gonna name another movie, but it's equally as trash, and it's The Woman in the Window.
That's also trash.
Yeah,
Cowboys and Aliens and Escape from LA.
There you go. Perfect.
Done.
But not Ingrid Goes West or 22 Jump Street.
I actually did not 22. Like Ingrid Goes West.
Ingrid Goes West is one of my favorite movies that year.
Yeah?
And yeah, I do like 22 Jump Street, but for the life of me, I don't remember him being in 22 Jump Street.
No, neither do I. I do not remember that at all.
But to the point, you said 5 and you only came up with 3.
I actually gave you 5.
After you had to look it up, bitch.
Whatever. Wyatt Russell is obviously not in as many movies as I thought he was in.
Evidently not, Tony.
That's fair.
Evidently not.
All right. Well, at least 3. Up to possibly 5. And 1 YouTube interview. It's great. It's all great. These are all better content for Wyatt Russell than anything else.
What about his YouTube interview with Dave Baldwin?
That one's also
very good. It's a very good interview.
It's a good one.
It just doesn't have Kurt, so you can't win.
It does have Marc-Andre Grodin.
Yeah, that's good.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
Yeah, avoid it like the plague. Don't. I watched it, so you don't have to.
I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. Even though I apparently know the entire movie.
You know the entire movie
watching
without
a
even
single
looking
frame of it.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We appreciate when any one of us sacrifices themselves to fall on a sword and watch a piece of junk.
I wanted to see it so bad.
Oh, and I know you did too.
I wanted to see it so bad.
You did.
Yeah. I'm hoping imaginary.
Yeah, Yeah, imaginary.
I'm hoping it's like a fraction better,
ever so slightly.
I didn't hear good things.
We'll see.
It's got a higher rating, so
all right. Killer teddy bear.
Yeah, whatever.
Better than a fucking killer pool.
Is it?
Well, we'll find out. Tony's going to tell us.
Tony's going to tell us next week. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's next, folks?
Before Tony gets to his are you bringing the Shutter Minute back?
I'm bringing the Shutter Minute back.
All right.
We have one today. I wasn't sure.
Before Tony gets to that, I just want to pipe in the film coming in out this week.
It's
another Alex Garland joint. It's called Civil War.
Nice.
And it is about a group of journalists who go on a road trip through a wasteland of America and what it's become after
a civil war.
A civil war breaks out where California and Texas are now basically their own.
Oh, interesting. It's California and Texas. They're their own country. They seceded from the nation.
They basically kind of
sovereign state.
They're more of a sovereign state type thing, and they're like the Western. Are they
kind of like Puerto Rico? Like they're
coming to take out the president.
Oh shit!
Everything's like a wasteland type thing, and the president is like a Donald Trump type.
Of course it is. Nick Offerman, right?
Nick Offerman. He's not in the movie as much as I wanted him to be, but the movie is aggressively kind of neutral.
Oh.
It doesn't really pick a side.
Huh.
So it's a little odd because it's very episodic because they're taking a road trip to get to Washington, D.C. before the Western Front people take them out type thing. They want to interview. Basically, the idea is they want to interview the president and they want to get there because nobody's interviewed the president since he took office in his third term.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So kind of like it's anarchy.
Yeah, I get it.
And basically most of the U.S. has destroyed itself.
Yeah.
American money means nothing. It's worthless. But Canadian money is priceless down there.
Oh, shit.
They bargain for gas with Canadian money.
Love that.
Which, hilarious.
Hilarious. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Hilarious. So basically the idea is they need to get there and they kind of meet up. They kind of go through different experiences and kind of see what the U.S. has become.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels science fiction-y and also kind of documentary-like.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a thriller, but it's basically a horror movie because it's showing like the characters they're interacting with are very much like MAGA, like QAnon type characters.
How's Jesse Plemons?
He's only in the one scene.
Really?
He's only in the one scene.
That fucking sucks.
That scene is very tense.
Oh, it makes sense.
It's more intense than the trailer is.
Yeah.
Like, because I know it's like it's the money shot in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's very intense in the movie. And it's kind of, you're sitting there on the edge of your seat. Like you're on the edge of your seat most of the movie because they're going through hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people they're talking to or interacting with are kind of like, you're like, I don't know if these people are going to make it.
Right.
Right. They're press and, you're supposed to treat press differently because they're going through the war zone type thing. And they're not taking a side. So that's why the movie doesn't really take a side, is because they're not taking a side. They're just there to document what's happening.
Yeah.
And they keep like pointing that out. They're like, we're just here to document it.
Yeah.
And like, they're like embedded in like different different war zones type thing. And all of that to say, there's some character moments near the end that I didn't really like. And it kind of changes for me. Like when I saw it in the theater, I was like, okay, cool. Oh yeah. But like now that I'm thinking about it more and more, I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to do here, or why this happens, or why this happens. So it's the neutrality of the movie is what's kind of holds it back from being like this amazing fucking like masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like if there was just like a little bit of picking a side,
yeah,
like I think it would be a different movie. all of that to say, Kirsten Dunst is very good.
Yeah.
Kaylee Spaney is very good. McKinley.
Yeah.
Kinley's very good. Mora, who I only know as Death from fucking Puss in Boots.
Oh,
He's good, and he gets some great character moments, but they don't use him enough.
That's Pablo, right? Guy who plays Pablo Escobar in Narcos.
I believe so. Yes,
it probably is. I've never seen Narcos, but it probably is him. He's very good. He's not as good as Kaylee Spaney is, or as good as Kirsten Dunst is. And like Kirsten Dunst is basically like the main character of the movie, and she's the only one you really get to know.
Yeah,
everyone else is kind of like enigmatic type thing, or just like one note, like I'm a journalist and I want to interview the president type thing. Let's go do it, la di da. Like that's basically it. But the sound design of this movie is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I saw it in IMAX, and just like the way he uses sound and the way things are like bombs are going off or guns are going off type thing, or the way he uses music or he uses news interstitials.
You said it was like kind of like Hereditary, where he was like using different sounds in different speakers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like it's an experience.
Yeah.
And it's very loud, and it's the road trip from hell. And you're just kind of like it's a ride, and you're kind of like, you're either with it or you're not.
Yeah.
And I was with it, and I really like it. And it's light years ahead of Men, but it's kind of one of those movies where you need to not think about it afterwards, because it kind of like comes apart a little. But it's definitely going to be controversial. I already have right wing people from the States retweeting me and saying things about how they think it's an abomination that this movie exists. So buckle up, because it's going to be a talking point for the rest of April at least, and probably going into November with it being an election year.
Very excited to see it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely has a lot more to say than The Hunt did, which they delayed.
They botched
the release of, because they thought it would say more about red versus blue, and it doesn't.
Yeah. This one is even when I saw the trailer, it was like, I don't know how I feel about this movie. I don't even know how I feel about watching it, but like I'm intrigued but scared.
It's a scary movie, and it's definitely an edge of your seat thriller. But yeah, the neutrality kind of, it has to be neutral, but at the same time, it needed to pick a side.
Yeah. It's hard for it to stay neutral.
Yeah.
Favorite Garland directed movie? Still Ex Machina?
I think so. I haven't finished all my rewatches, because I want to write the review after I rewatch Ex Machina and Annihilation. But so far, it's Ex Machina.
That makes sense.
I would say.
And I have a feeling it'll stay that way.
That's where it is.
I have a feeling it'll stay that way. I think this one will be like it might be second. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Annihilation. Annihilation was always my favorite.
I like Annihilation as well.
Yeah.
He was there when we saw that, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Because we got the Q&A after.
We did. Yeah. Which didn't help.
No, didn't help anything. I'm still thinking about that movie.
I think about David Ehrlich. He always does like a end of the year montage of his favorite movies of the year, and the only thing I always remember about Annihilation is he scored it to Chandelier. So it's Natalie Portman doing the ballet dance thing with the, what is it, a creature or what?
The bear.
It's like a black. It's
I know what you're talking about,
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he scored it. It's like, I wanna swing. It just, that's the only image I think of, and I feel like when I turn this movie on, that's all I'm going to see.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a recommend. It's not.
Nice.
It'll be a questionable if you'll like it or not, but it's a high recommend.
It'd be divisive.
It's a divisive movie. Divisive. But yeah, your boy has a hell of a scene.
Nice. I want to see it.
Tony, you got a shorter minute for us that we can do in a minute?
I could probably do it in a minute.
Sweet.
Probably 2 minutes.
Let's get to the creepiness.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
And go.
All right, so the new Shudder movie this week. Don't time me, man. That's just you're just gonna rush me. And I'm gonna
my fake watch.
The new Shudder movie was a movie called Baghead, but it wasn't available in Canada, so I didn't want to do that to everybody. So I just went off the cuff and saw a movie that I really wanted to see. Dario Argento's Panico. It is a documentary on Dario Argento. Basically on his legacy. It was a lot of talking heads kind of thing. Guillermo del Toro shows up.
Of course he does.
Dave's favorite director, Gaspar Noé isn't. He's a talking point. Nicholas Winding Rev is another talking point.
I think he's changing his name to just Ref.
Oh,
Ref.
Thank Christ.
Whatever.
Getting rid of the winding.
He's like, Dario Argento is not of this world. I was like, yeah, Nicholas, neither are you.
Fuck, like what?
Yeah.
What a weird. Wow.
Right?
What a hot take, buddy.
Yeah.
Have you looked in a mirror?
Real fucking original.
I don't know that much about Dario Argento. I'm literally just getting into his work. We saw Dark Glass or Dark Glasses, right? I had seen Tenebrae, which I was really disappointed about. My buddy from work loves this movie.
Let me know if you want to borrow Deep Red.
I was gonna say I knew I was not gonna get through this friggin' this Shudder Minute without you guys at least mentioning Deep Red once.
Because it's fucking great.
I had accompanied this movie with Dario Argento movie that I really wanted to see, The Birds of Crystal. The Birds
with the crystal plumage.
That's the one. That movie's fucking fantastic. Yeah. But Panico.
You buying the arrow?
I might. I just might.
Panico.
Panico.
Or Panico.
Panico.
I didn't know much about him.
Yeah.
It was nice to see. There was a couple other Gallo directors that showed up.
Giallo.
What's his fucking name? Lamberto Brava, which is his second unit director, is like AD or something. He ended up doing stuff too. He's
not Mario Brava.
He is the son of Mario Brava.
Okay, because I was like Mario. I know who Mario Brava is.
Mario Brava basically ushered in an era, and then Dario and Lamberto and Lucio Falci. Friend of the podcast, Laura, is probably going to yell at me because she knows more about this than I do. But yeah, it was great. It was informative. This is a director that I really want to start paying attention to because you see his influence and stuff. You see how, especially with Birds of Crystal Plumage, you see how Hitchcock influenced him.
Yeah, sure.
They never mention Hitchcock, but watching Birds and just Bird and
Bird. The birds, right?
You see Hitchcock's influence, right? Because there's that the voyeurism, that thing. Guillermo del Toro says it a lot, that there's always something in a Dario Argento movie, and it's 100% trying to kill you.
Yep,
that's fair,
right?
Yep, that's fair.
And his kids have a lot of talking points in it too, and I really like this one story that Asia tells. I can't remember what movie they were on, but they were filming a sex scene with her, and
awkward.
Right? But it gets even more awkward because her grandmother was there that day.
Oh, God. Taco.
So she's telling the story of the grandmother not looking at set, not looking at the video and everything. And Dario's very uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable. And then after the scene's over, the sigh of relief on Dario, and Asia just basically balls her eyes out because she's just I can't believe I had to film a sex scene not only in front of my father, but being directed by my father, but my grandmother is actually watching it too.
Why wouldn't you just change the movie?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just change that scene?
You literally. Or film it on a different day that your grandmother's not there. What the hell?
Not even just that. Why wouldn't you just not? Just cut that scene. Not. Yeah. Just cut that scene. You don't need it.
Get your fucking assistant director to do it. Jesus.
He's still going to have to go and do final picture lock and still watch it. I don't want to watch.
That's true. That's true.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's fucking weird.
She's in a lot of his movies
even European sensibility. It's still fucking weird.
It's fucking weird.
I've read reviews on Letterboxd, and a lot of people are saying it's a puff piece. I have nothing to compare it to, so I can't really take a stance on that. They say Letterboxd, a lot of people are saying that there's better documentaries on him and everything. I thought for somebody who doesn't know a lick about Dario Argento, only really knows his movies and like his legacy, right? I thought it was decent. I thought it was really good. Really well done. I want to watch more of this guy's movies because like he is definitely like inspired a whole like truckload of people. Brian De Palma for sure. John Carpenter. I say those two because they were brought up.
Then I think the movie did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It made you more aware of a subject matter you maybe only had a tertiary understanding of, and now you want to see more. So fuck,
what a win, didn't you?
Yeah, but I don't remember Suspiria, and I don't remember liking Suspiria when I saw it, because like when I saw it, I was like, what, 13, 14?
Suspiria was like my first giallo, and I was just like, it's a very tough ask for a first one.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
not easy.
That's why I don't really count it, because like I want to see it with like better eyes and more educated eyes. The one that I really want to see that they showcased a little bit was Opera. If you guys ever heard of Opera, right? And they interviewed the actress who had like the taped needles in her eyes and stuff, and like she was just going on like the process and everything, and like they were asking her like who Dario Argento was, and she was like, I don't know. Like he's just there's so much to him, right?
Yeah,
and like it was. I really want to see more of this guy.
Neat. Love it.
Yeah.
Cut, print, not quite a minute, but good enough.
A Shudder.
Still want to see Baghead.
Yeah, I want to see Baghead too. Yeah.
We'll get there. Maybe the next Shudder minute or one thereafter. We'll talk about Baghead.
It needs to come to Canada.
Yes. Shall we get to our main event?
Yes,
the big show.
Yes, sir.
The main picture that we all watched.
Yes.
Dev Patel's directorial debut, Monkey Man.
Yes. Was originally supposed to go to Netflix, and they couldn't figure out how to market it to their Bollywood audience, so they
well, that's because it's not really a Bollywood film.
They sold it to Jordan Peele, or Jordan Peele managed to
figure it out.
That's kind
of interesting to note that as a slant, because someone was asking me today, actually, because we're asking what our podcast episode was about, and it was like, oh yeah, it was about Monkey Man, and they're like, oh, I was describing it, and it was like, oh, so it's like a Bollywood movie. I'm like, no,
not quite.
No, it's sort of a Western Indian cinema.
It's a mashup of genres, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's a revenge thriller done by way of Indian and Korean cinema.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a Korean.
It's a Western Indian Korean influence. Like mishmash.
It's a Korean revenge movie done in India with Western influences. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way to describe it.
I didn't even think of it as a Korean influence, but now that you say it, like,
the action scenes alone should tell you it's very Korean.
Korean, obviously,
where he gets the Korean. So yeah, we said it's a revenge thriller, and it's about a kid whose mother
avenged the death of his mom.
Avenges death of his mother by any means necessary. And then I guess he fucks up, and then he has to
rebuild,
find himself,
find his true heritage, and
also mixed in with a boxing movie or like UFC style fighting.
It's
movie.
Mixed in with a lot of things.
It's like underground martial arts.
It's I would say it's a wrestling movie by way of like an underground wrestling boxing movie. I wouldn't even say mixed martial arts. I kind of want to go wrestling because it felt a little bit more.
It doesn't even feel boxing though. It's more mixed martial arts. They're like kicking each other and like.
That's why I wanted to go wrestling, because it's all for a show. Like it's all to put on like a huge entertaining performance, but hits are real. So
and then there's different rounds too.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I think this speaks to what's wrong with the movie.
It's a fight. There's a ringed fight movie by way of revenge, by way of social justice, by way of action.
There's just
by way of religion.
By way of religion.
By way of transgender rights.
Yeah, so there's the social activism. That's what I was getting at. Yes, the transgender rights. Yes.
So like the whole social justice thing and the transgender rights and stuff.
Yeah,
that's where I feel like it gets kind of muddled because like when it's action and when it's like
that's when it got muddled.
No, like it does. It does
keep going. Tony.
I just got a little confused, right? Because like outside of the action, outside of the main storyline, when he tries to go into other things and try and connect them together, it kind of falls apart because I'm just like, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole point was to show like he ends up with the group of the transgender class by way of failing miserably. So it was kind of by way of like, all right, he's now bottom of the rung if we're thinking about an old version of like an Indian caste system, or even kind of today-ish if you want to think about.
He's also wanted as a terrorist, basically.
Yeah, but he's fucked up so bad. He's now with I need to put air quotes around this, the dregs of society in this movie.
You're not wrong. They don't want to associate with them.
These guys are in the shadows, basically.
They're never looked at. Like he can hide out there and not be found because no one cares, basically. Grossed out by their existence that no one even looks at them.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So that's what it's getting towards. And then it was like, oh, while you're here, by the way, we're treated like this. And he's like, well, that's kind of fucked up. And like, tries to elevate them at the same time because they're all on an equal playing field and they shouldn't be. But it's messy before that.
It's messy before that.
It started getting messy when I stopped understanding who the fuck was up this revenge ladder that he had to climb. Like how far up the rank or the rung goes, and like they introduced that guru guy so weirdly in the beginning. Yeah. And like I don't understand his importance until like way later, and I'm like, but anything that you wanted to do with him, like it doesn't hit as a surprise anymore. Like, why did you introduce him so early if he was? I don't know.
For the most part, I thought his beef was just with Ray. Yeah. That's what I thought. And then like then towards the end of the movie when it's like, no, it's actually the guru that he's going at. Like, sure. Right? Like why didn't you just start that?
Start there.
You're creating this whole like, you know, like this is the fucking guy. Like it's the general, like the chief of police. This is the guy that he wants. Why the hell is he going after the guru then? No, because the guru was the one who like basically ordered it all. Like, no, that's a little bit of a cop out.
I think what we're getting to here, and we can focus on this a bit more, but is this movie's a mess.
It needed to be straightforward.
Yeah. It's doing too much.
It's doing too much, and the whole flashback thing doesn't quite work.
Nope.
Especially when it's so fragmented, and then suddenly it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of the movie, and it's not really a proper 3-act structure.
Nope.
And there's too much going on.
Yeah.
He wants to say too much.
He needed to say one thing
way
instead
less.
of 10.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to make a revenge thriller, then why didn't we just stick with it? Why are we bringing in all these other elements? Why don't we just...
Yeah.
Like
they keep comparing it to John Wick, but the simplicity of John Wick is John Wick's wife dies, leaves him with the dog. They kill the dog. John Wick swears revenge.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing else to it.
Take out the social commentary, take out the social justice, just straight revenge thriller. Like these guys killed his mom. This guy killed his mom. He's going after him. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if we're going to compare it to John Wick, like there's a simplicity, and that's why John Wick works.
Yeah.
This movie, I admire how much he wants to take on. And I admire the way he uses his influences and his homages. I love the way he shoots the actual action scenes and the fighting scenes. The chase scene that happens afterwards was a little too fucking.
I couldn't fucking keep up with what the fuck was going on there.
Some of the I think the earlier fight scenes were a little bit quick, too quick for me. I wanted the camera to breathe a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like the bathroom scene. I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah, the bathroom scene was great.
I thought it was cool, and I like
other parts of that that were just like oh God, like I can't, like my eyes cannot process what's happening in front of me because they're cutting.
There's way too much cutting.
Mm-hmm.
And later on there's less cutting, but
yeah.
Like the battle near the end when he basically gets like surrounded by everybody, and then the transgender army, I'm gonna say, they come,
which also what? Okay,
fine,
sure,
but that scene, the camera, what I'm saying is that scene, you're expecting the quick cut, but it gives you the camera breathes a little bit more. You see the fighting, you basically see how well choreographed this fighting is, and like some of those scenes, they're brilliantly choreographed. Like you really feel like every hit. Like I don't know why this movie was in D-Box, because I can't imagine it being in D-Box.
They were sitting in the D-Box seats.
Wild.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have wasted my time, but like that scene was awesome. And like when there's action, the movie is like you're on the edge of your seat. I'm like, holy shit, like this is fucking great.
Yep.
But then when it stops, it's
weighed down by its own complexity.
Yes. It's definitely, there's too much going on.
There's too much going on.
There's too much going on. But you said that one scene, the scene before that, immediately before that in the elevator, where it scored to Boney M.
Yeah.
Some of the remixes, the Boney M remix. There was another one. It was Duran Duran.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At the beginning. Like some of those remixes, the music, like just like the basically his remixes of some of this stuff and like the EDM stuff and like that was great.
Yeah. He's got the stuff.
Yeah.
The guy he can shoot it, he can direct it, like he directs the hell out of some of these scenes, and he's doing his own stunt work type thing. Like
he broke a couple bones doing this too. I heard he put his body through punishment.
Yeah.
Like
doesn't surprise me.
He's got all the parts.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come together as well as it needs to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still a great actor too. Like his acting in the movie is very, very good.
Absolutely.
And I know I didn't want to compare it to John Wick, but the part with the dog is cute.
Yeah,
and
Chekhov's alley dog was great.
I do love the payoff with Chekhov's alley dog.
Yeah,
I love that payoff. But it's all kept talking about it earlier with other movies, but gratuitously violent.
It's so violent.
Yeah. So violent.
Speaking of that elevator, oh my god!
Oh my god!
I was, I haven't given spoilers away, but I mean, you deal with our podcast as you like, but that moment in the elevator, was it like I cringed? I was like, good fucking god!
I was the only. I laughed out loud, and people looked at me, I was like, "Come on, guys! Like, are you kidding me? Like,
it's fucking nuts!"
I wanted a little bit more reactions out of my crowd, but
my crowd was also quiet.
My crowd was quiet too, but I was visibly like,
I had a a couple of reactions.
Fuck.
It's just he builds up this mythos, and he sets the movie up.
Yeah.
In just a way where you're like, okay, we know I can see where this is going. I know what we're going to do. It just like, and then he pivots, and then he introduces these extra characters that aren't really important. And Charlito Copley shows up, and he needed to be subtitled because I couldn't understand anything he was saying.
Strong.
And then they were but then the chief guy was talking in English, and they were subtitling him. And I was like, but I can hear him. I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what Copley's saying. And I've met Copley in real life. I know how he talks.
Yeah. Yeah, they cranked him up to 11 for some reason.
He was great though. He
reminded me of Boy Kills World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he reminded me of. I was like, did he just walk off the set and just go into this movie?
Also,
speaking of a trailer for that movie before that movie, and I fucking cringed hard watching that.
Better narration though.
Yeah.
Much better narration.
They probably took note.
Although, I don't know. That movie is so much narration that I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. But anyway.
It's bad.
Don't bother.
All right. What I was going to say in terms of, again, complexities and just adding way too much into the story, this literally just reminded me of a moment. So towards the end, he goes back as Monkey Man, as Hanuman, and like fucking destroys and wins, and like the kid bets on him to win and wins all the money, and then he gives all the money to the transgender people. Okay, great. However, in the beginning of that movie, he's, you know, beat down to shit and like only gets like a half the payout because he didn't bleed or whatever. And you're following him and Charlotte Hope, like they're fucking talking and walking and yada yada. And they cut to the
old walking talk.
The old walk and talk, and they cut to the inside of his locker that has stacks of cash, and they linger on it like, oh, this is going to be important later. Maybe he's going to rob him later because he's a piece of shit. No, they're just there. Like, why even? Who fucking cares? He got half the money. What is it? Just to prove that this guy has more money in him? But if you don't come back to that well, why are you showing it to me? It doesn't need to be there. Just, again, adding to the list of things that do not need to be in this movie that you took time to show me, and then just added for complexity, for, I don't know. So much going on.
There's too much going on, and there's a cleaner movie here.
Yes,
there's definitely a much cleaner movie.
Yeah.
And it would have been a better movie for it. But the way it is, it's just kind of like all the pieces are there, but they're not. But coming together, they're not there.
I also understand how Netflix would have struggled to market this because I don't know how to market this. Jordan Peele, I guess, figured out kind of a way.
It's an action thriller.
It's an action thriller. But also
the whole transgender thing is not in the trailer at all.
True.
I said the transgendered group is not in the trailer at all. That's not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
And they don't really talk about the political aspect of it either.
Yeah, there was the entire political subplot.
So like when you're watching the trailer, you're expecting like your run-of-the-mill John Wick action thriller, right?
Dev Patel.
What you get is this muddled fucking...
You get that, but you also get this and this and this and this and this. But can I say, I think we talked about Dev Patel as a director, slightly as an actor. I thought Dev was great in this.
I thought he was great.
I thought he was great. I also, starting my petition, even though it's not going to come true, but my petition for Dev Patel to become the next James Bond.
I'd be good with it.
Because I like him in the full tux when he was a waiter or whatever, serving blow to the guests.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I could see. And then couple that with like cut to, you know, him in the elevator, stabbing the guy in the throat with his teeth.
Yeah.
I was like, I like it. He can pull off the action and do his own stunts, and he looks great in a suit and can pull off the suaveness of being a waiter even.
Yeah.
Like he can blend in and he can pull off the action.
Yeah.
Sign this man up. I love this.
Well, they need to commit to it not being a white guy, because there's a laundry list
but
of
it's time.
Amazing actors who could do it who aren't white.
Yeah.
Because I would also I wanted it to be Daniel Kaluuya or Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
Riz Ahmed would kill it.
Both of them
Riz
can
Ahmed
rock a suit and can have...
Even back in the day, we were always talking about Idris.
Yeah.
Would have been great.
Would have been great. Like they can all rock suits. They all have the suaveness and the charisma.
Yeah.
It's just they need to commit.
They're so like, it has to be white. And it's like, but does it? It doesn't.
Like I know Aaron Taylor Johnson's like apparently the one, but... But like he's not going to do anything different.
Yeah, just like
he'll be good. He'll be good. He'll be good. He'll be good.
Like
he'll be good. It's just he's not going to do anything different. Versus Daniel Craig being different from Pierce Brosnan, who's different from Timothy Dalton, who's different from Roger Moore, who's different from George Lazenby, who's different from Sean Connery.
Yeah, it's that difference instead of an actual fundamental pivot difference. But anyway, that's when I was watching it. I was like, "Fuck, man!"
No,
like,
I can get behind
I love this.
I think he would be great.
Put Dev in some more action movies.
Well, he's gonna he can carve himself out like a spot as an action hero now.
Yeah, and I love that.
And he's in a lot less movies than I thought he was.
Yeah, I was looking. I
was looking at his list, and I was like,
he's in a very slight amount of films.
Much more movies than this.
Nope.
I really like the actor who played Alfonso.
Oh yeah, he was great.
He was awesome, and I liked his
a little bit of levity to the.
Yeah, grounded it a little bit, and I liked his little moped thing.
His moped thing.
Yeah, his rickshaw.
To James's point, there's a moment with him and the chief where you think something's going to come of that too. And nothing happens.
Yeah. Oh, when he's making fun of him for his leg? Yeah.
Yep. Nothing happens there.
Nothing happens. Or
Yeah,
with
that's
the,
a really
or with
intense-
the,
that's a
girl,
really
the
intense
girl
scene,
that
yeah.
he has that he kind of
There was so
just
many.
fucking leaves her.
There was so much more they could have done with her. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she was underutilized.
like it's
Yeah.
fine that it doesn't go romantic.
No,
No,
I'm not
that's
saying
fine.
it. I'm not
Doesn't
saying
have
it
to
had
be.
to go romantic.
I know, but other
like,
movies it would have
yeah,
been a romantic subplot. But that's fine. It's
Yeah.
just
Fine.
why aren't they doing anything
Yeah.
with her? And when her moment of triumph comes, it doesn't feel earned.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much so. Again,
That's a vicious scene.
too much.
Yeah, we keep saying it and we keep bringing it up. There's too much.
Yeah.
It needed to pick a lane, and it doesn't pick a lane.
There is a very good movie in here, and you could definitely see it, and you can watch it and kind of enjoy it. But as it is, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It needed to be like. I know what it sounds like, but like, straight. These guys killed his parent. This guy killed his parents or his mom, and he wants revenge.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you got to do. And he's like, he disguises himself. He gets into the restaurant and he works his way up.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
There's your movie, man.
That's it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Or even go about it differently. He finds a way to, train even harder because he's kind of a shitty fighter. He finds a way to train even harder by being this piece of shit poor guy. And then start your revenge. Like,
yeah,
you could do it more linearly. Like, you don't have to go, he tries, he fails, and now he's back. Like, you could have done it more linearly, and it would have cleaned it up and made it a better movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, he doesn't have to be a John Wick type who's like, I'm an assassin. Like, I can kill everybody. Like, you can make it. You can be
the everyman, and he just trains harder and harder and harder to get to his goal.
Yeah. Anyway, I think all of this to say. Or does anyone have any other?
No, that's basically it.
Right?
Yeah.
Do we recommend or no?
Mine's like a midway recommend. It's definitely a one to catch on VOD for sure. I wouldn't rush out to go see it.
I'd say catch it on VOD. You don't need to see it in theaters.
Yeah. Say a Tuesday at the most if you didn't have anything else to see. Like,
yeah, but there's plenty to see right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you felt starved for action and you were out on a Tuesday, fine. Otherwise, just wait for VOD and you can enjoy it. Probably
enjoy it more.
Yeah.
I
had a decent crowd though. I had like 25 people.
I had like 50.
Nice.
Like it was pretty packed.
Yeah, I went Thursday.
Like behind me at least was packed. In front of me was not.
Yeah, I went Thursday night and opening night, I guess. And like there was like some good groups. There was like 10, 15 people sitting all in a row together. But it was also me and the guy in front of me were just the two lone dudes that came to the movie. And like
that was
immediately,
like me too.
Immediately when the credits rolled, he was just like done and just like left. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I wasn't expecting a post-credit scene, but like I'm not also rushing to get out of here. But I definitely checked my watch a couple times while watching because it was like, fuck me.
The music through the credits was pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. I also had to log in on Letterboxd, so I had to stay for at least a couple seconds.
I get it. I get it. Priorities.
Yeah. How was your screening?
There's like 8 to 10 people. I went on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Well, like, dude, I went at a time where, a person getting stabbed in the neck and there's the one guy who's fucking cracking up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But like, come on, that was fucking awesome.
It was. There's no denying. There's no denying that. Like that, I still think about that scene.
Yeah.
It's a good scene. It's a good scene.
It's nuts. Or even what's her name getting hit over the head with what the fuck?
Yeah.
So like a toilet lid? I don't even know.
Dave, you want to know what
Tray?
it reminded me of? It reminded me of Kill, and it made me want to watch Kill.
That's fair.
I keep hearing about this movie, and I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll go.
It's finally on the Cineplex app, so I'm very excited that it exists.
It's because it's coming from Cineplex Pictures.
Is it really?
Mm.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
I'm glad they picked up something to put out. I'll take that.
Well, they have a Lionsgate deal.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but yeah, their Cineplex Pictures is bringing it out.
Nice.
It'll be big. It comes out July 4th weekend. So.
Yeah, very excited.
We're going.
Very excited.
Yeah, we can go watch that and then Maxine.
Sweet.
Or one of the
wait.
One or the other.
One or the other first.
Well, there we go.
It'll be a good weekend.
There we go.
So I think that wraps it up. But last week, Dave, we cut you off.
You did.
We didn't get a chance because we talked too much about too many films.
Yes.
But I want to give you the time to bring back your new blues so you can talk to me about it. Let's do it.
What did that boy buy? It's Dave's new blues.
So, what did I rudely interrupt you on last time?
Well, we mentioned it already. It's True Lies.
Hell yeah.
And it's not a new blue, it's a 4K. Is 4K,
it not? Yes.
Well, the segment is called Dave's New Blues. So what do you want to call it? Dave's New 4Ks? It doesn't have the same ring.
No, it doesn't.
We have a jingle, Tony.
Sorry, buddy.
It doesn't. But I was thinking while we were talking about Monkey Man, there's a scene in that movie in the bathroom where they're kicking the gun around.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in True Lies where there's a gun in a bathroom. And just like how quick cut that scene is in Monkey Man versus how it's not quick cut in True Lies, and how you see everything and it's like well lit.
Yeah.
And it's hyper stylized, but it's well lit and you can see everything that's going on versus Monkey Man that's in the dark.
Schwarzenegger's doing most of it, isn't he?
Well, his stuntman is, but he's doing some of it, Tony. He's doing,
but you can tell it's
somebody's doing it.
Somebody's doing it.
Funny thing, bring up the stuntman in 4K. You can already see who the stuntman was. You can see it very well in 4K.
Well, with the skiing scene, I can always. I always remember.
Adding more resolution tends to make things a lot worse. Sometimes.
So all of this to say, True Lies came out when DVD was in its infancy. Came out as a non-anamorphic widescreen release, just not really well remastered or whatever. And there was always supposed to be a new remaster to come out because James Cameron put a lot of work into all his other movies.
Correct.
That were all remastered for DVD.
Correct.
For DVD at least.
And
they were all top-notch DVD. Correct. Like the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition on DVD is like crown jewel DVD.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Abyss one too.
The Abyss one is also very, very like
for DVD.
DVD, a crown jewel.
Well, True Lies didn't somehow missed the threading.
It didn't help that 9/11 happened.
Sure,
that kind of ruined it. That kind of threw it off. But Blu-ray came, and they remastered most of Cameron's movies.
Stuff,
but he didn't do True Lies or The Abyss.
Yeah.
So if you ever wanted a copy of that movie on a disc, you needed to buy a shitty DVD copy. Yeah. And the only way you could watch it on high def is if you happened to find it on cable.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah.
That was the only way you could watch it on high def legally.
Yeah,
because they had like high def like Blu-rays and stuff that were not like official Blu-rays.
They weren't. Yeah, they were just like they were out there kind of thing.
They were out there that existed type thing.
Yeah.
So for the longest time you couldn't get these movies in a new format.
Yeah.
And then last year he finally announced he redid them.
Yeah.
He's been talking
all
about
of them though.
He's been talking about it forever.
Yeah.
And then he finally put his money where his mouth was and said, "Hey, I did them all. They're all done now." The only Cameron movie I think that hasn't been redone but is being redone is the Terminator, the first one.
Yeah.
All the other ones now are on 4K.
Correct.
I hear Terminator 2 is not well done at all. I hear it's one of the worst 4K remasters ever.
Oh, shit.
But all of this to say,
that's upsetting.
All of this to say, there's a lot of controversy around True Lies specifically because they brought out Aliens, True Lies, and The Abyss at the same time.
Yeah.
And he didn't quite remaster it the way the way movies are remastered. He used AI.
Oh,
which is apparently a thing PJ does.
Interesting.
So you should be a little more worried about his trifecta.
Interesting.
So people are fine with Aliens, and they're fine. Like there's still like not the great. They don't love it, but they're like it looks good. And The Abyss, they're fine with also because it took forever to get it. So fuck it.
We're not going to complain about.
What they're upset about is True Lies, which some of the AI kind of it picks up details in the background that he kind of like becomes more high def and more 4K. So it's like the background stuff is being redone when it doesn't need to be.
Oh.
And then like some of like there's like a glossy look to some of their faces in some of the moments.
Like it smoothed them out.
Yeah, like it's a little too smooth in some scenes. Other scenes it looks fine, and in like it looks awful when you look at it as a screen grab. Looks awful.
Shit.
But in motion it looks fine.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, I thought it was mostly fine.
Yeah.
Some of it looks a little odd, and some of it looks like he remastered it to the point that it looks like a brand new movie.
Yeah. Whoa.
And the tones or the skin or the color tones and the color palette are a little different.
Huh.
Some of the framing's off too, isn't it?
I think the framing's okay.
Because I remember seeing on Twitter in certain scenes the framing, they take a grab of like the DVD versus the 4K, and the framing's like completely fucking different.
So I'll show you this one scene that I managed to screen grab. Like it's not the greatest screen grab, obviously, because I'm just taking it on my phone. But this is what I'm talking about. Where is it? Where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh my Christ.
Okay. So
what's the scene?
So this is the scene after she strips.
Okay.
So this is what I PVR'd off TV.
Yep.
So like the HD version type thing.
Yeah.
And then this is the 4K.
Oh. Whoa.
So go back. And then
you see it?
It crushed all the shadows and it changed the color.
Right? Because his shirt is gray.
Yeah.
And it's blue there.
It changed the color palette. Yeah.
They leaned a little too heavy into the blue because that scene is actually like blue to start, but like they like leaned heavily into that.
It's reminding me of the Matrix when they did those on DVD and they leaned too far into the green.
Yeah.
And then there's this. Yeah. That's HD.
It's the fire pyre scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're blowing up the bridge.
Yeah.
And then in 4K.
Oh, wait, flip back. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the framing.
Yeah. Well, it might not be the exact same.
It's not the exact. I managed to get it exact or very close to exact on the other scene. This one's like slightly off.
Yeah. So I won't say the framing for this.
You can
still see it. Like it's a two shot of the airplanes, and the one that's off to the right is a little bit more. It's not his camera. It's the framing of, because you can see it in the TV where the TV. See how that's a little bit closer?
Yeah.
And now it's not.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So the framing is a little bit off.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then and then I was kind of trying to get some detail.
Sure.
Like his face.
That's the PVR.
Yeah. That's the PVR.
And it's just blown out almost.
Right.
It's like washed out.
And then here. This is like one of the most famous scenes in the movie where he says you're fired.
Ooh.
Yeah,
do you see it?
Yeah, I do. I see it turned up the textures too much.
He's messing with the saturation because like his face doesn't even look authentic.
Yeah, even so I'm looking at look
at the dirt on his face.
Not even that though, but even if you look at how blown out the negative part of the image is, right? Where there's nobody. It's like so turned up.
Yeah.
It's like the contrast was blown way up to 11, and then they also like saturated the movie. It was like contrast and saturation were both cranked.
Yeah.
For the sake of 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the skin tone doesn't even look in the 4K. The skin tone doesn't even look real.
It looks redder in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that tells me saturation's cranked.
So all of this to say, it definitely does not look great in pictures.
No.
In motion, it looks a little better.
Yeah.
And like it's still a better looking copy of the movie than the shitty DVD you have that I refuse to buy.
Yeah.
But all of that to say, it has a lot of controversy, and it's kind of like, this is the best we're gonna get, guys. Like, because somebody on Facebook's like, I'll just wait till they bring out a replacement disc, and it's like they have to remaster the entire movie again. They can't just do that.
Yeah.
So,
damn.
My question to you guys then. is how do you feel about him basically changing the movie, the look of the movie? He's not George Lucasing and adding in new stuff, but he completely changed the look of the movie. Because then I also know that Gareth Evans did a complete remaster on the Raid, and apparently the color palette in the new version of the Raid is completely different than the old one. So it's a completely different movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to say. I'm going to lean back on my one experience that I mentioned, which was The Matrix, where they fucked up the color palette, legitimately fucked up the color palette.
It was too green.
It was so green. Like, it's all green.
Yeah.
Like the DVD version that I loved and watched religiously for years was fucked up. Like, it was too green. And then when I got my hands on the 4K and watched the 4K and watched it sort of the way that it was, because I never got to see that movie in theaters. So I only knew it as green.
Yeah.
It does change the look and feel of the film. I understand. I also understand, and I wonder how much of this is a byproduct of using AI, because AI doesn't understand nuance. It only understands you just asked it to make a 4K of this, frame of a film. It can do the thing, but what it understands is an enhancement. It might not truly be what it is, but it's also like, did they just run it through AI and then print to disc? Like, was this the laziest remaster imaginable?
No, I think he put some effort into it. I just think
so. James Cameron
True Lies was the first.
This.
True Lies was the first one they did.
Yeah,
and then I think Aliens was like the last, and Abyss was in the middle type thing.
So or
Titanic might have been the last one, because apparently the Titanic 4K is incredible.
So I do want to say that when I was talking about Titanic earlier, I watched the 4K.
Apparently it's incredible.
It is incredible. And again, there's scenes that don't hold up in 4K anymore. Like, obviously a lot of the CG it looks like Thomas the Tank Engine figurines walking around. Like, it's bad. And also, like, the face replacement that they do on Leo and Kate when they're getting blown down the hallway in the water is laughably bad. Like, it's so clear that it's like a weird old school face replacement, and it looks so jarring. But otherwise, that movie looks incredible. Like, it's gorgeous to look at. So it just is like, then why did this movie go out the door looking like this? Like, if you refined it over time, but all of these three movies came out at the same time, then what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why did we okay this one?
Maybe because he didn't care, or maybe because he just wanted to shut the people up who wanted it.
That's probably what it is. And then I was going to say, if this one was the first one, he probably corrected the process. He was just like, okay, well, True Lies looks like this. I'm going to correct the process on the other ones. And that's probably why True Lies looks like that. The Abyss looks like that. And then Aliens and Titanic look significantly better than the rest.
But then again, back to if they were all released at the same time, if all three of those were released at the same time,
why didn't he go back?
Why didn't he go back once he figured out the Abyss and thing?
But look at the fan base for the movies, right? There's only a select few people. There's only a select group of people that admit that they like True Lies, because True Lies is constantly hated. Right? Then you get the Abyss. The Abyss only has like a small, like, the Abyss is a cult movie, right? There's only a select fan base for the cult, whereas everybody fucking loves Aliens. So like he's probably gauging it and just like, okay, if I make Aliens great, like I'm gonna appease those fans, and then like the other ones who, because like you can even say that True Lies is a cult movie too, right? Because like there's a cult fan base. So he's just like, he just brings it out for True Lies and Abyss fans because they're just happy to have it on 4K versus Titanic and Aliens that have more of a fan base and will complain more, basically.
Back to Dave's original point of how would we feel if a director changed something? I can tell you right now that if I watched the 4K of Titanic and it looked like True Lies, like everything saturated, cranked to 11, too blue, and because there's a lot of blue in that movie. That blue, that tone, that color, the color palette of Titanic is mainly blue. Deep ocean blue. I would
Heart
be fucking,
of the ocean.
Yes, I would be fucking furious. I'd be like, "What the fuck have you done?" Like, there's choice in things, and I understand like a director's vision, and I understand Maybe sometimes that didn't go the way that you wanted. But the point is, you put out something that's kind of like, you don't get to then go back and rewrite it. If you want to, go ahead, remake the fucking thing if you want, but you don't get to change its entire vibe through color because it didn't work. I understand if it's a legitimate improvement, like if you're doing it and it's like, this is actually how I intended it to be shot, but I was turned down by the studio, something like that, so this is what I actually really wanted it to be. But if it's something bad, where it's like bad AI processing, bad remastering, and you still approved it to go out the door, you fucked with the underlying like film, like color and light and shadow and detail is like film. Like, it's the fundamentals. It's not adding a bantha. It's changing the entire look and feel of a movie. Like, a bantha doesn't change the look and feel of a movie. If Star Wars A New Hope, they got to Mos Eisley and it wasn't yellows and oranges and it was blue, I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this isn't even the same movie anymore. It's now Under the Sea with Luke Skywalker. So anyway, that's where I land. I'll shut up now. Yes.
But it belongs to him. It's his movie. He can do what he wants. It's not your movie.
Does art belong to you if you put it out in the world?
Well, that's the question. Does it belong to you, or does it belong to the fans? Does it belong to the people that watch it or that appreciate it?
I think once you release it into the world, it is no longer solely yours. That's always been my take on it. You've decided to share something with the world. It is now the propellant forward is now the way that you and your audience perceive it. But you don't get to decide how your audience perceives it. Did fucking Monet fucking go back and be like, you know what? This abstraction that I did, or this landscape that I did, it's not what I intended. I actually meant for this and no, because it's not yours anymore.
Well, a painting's different than a film, which is different than a piece of music.
Yeah.
Right? Because Taylor Swift also has Taylor's versions.
But they're not different. They're really not different. They're re-recorded, and that was for, a way to get it out. But she didn't fundamentally change any of her songs. She re-recorded them all. They all have the same vibe, tone, and meaning.
Cameron owns the copyright, though. So if he wants to change the movie, he's well in his right to change the movie.
I'm not saying he's not well within his rights to change the movie. I just don't think you should.
It's like that. I think
you can do whatever you want. It doesn't make you right. It still makes you an asshole.
No, I totally get it. I think
like, if it was a favorite movie of mine that this is what happened to, I would literally burn it. I'd be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Like,
I think it's just the opinion is just like in the gray area, and it's just like where you land.
Sure,
you're not gonna appease everybody.
To be more than fair, then if you want to do that, then you also don't get to be upset about any backlash.
I don't think he cares.
You don't get to have an opinion. You don't get to argue anybody's opinion.
No, that's completely fair.
But to Dave's point, and I'm just gonna build off Dave's point, I think he's too far into Avatar to give a shit what anyone thinks of his remasters.
I don't think he really cares about anybody. I don't think he really cares what anyone thinks at this point.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares about anything.
He's the king of the world. He can do what he wants. He called himself the king of the world back in '98, and he has. I don't think he ever.
He's still pumping out middling successful Avatar movies.
Middling successful.
Middling critically successful Avatar movies.
They're the most fucking. They both made over $2 billion, James.
I corrected critically successful.
Fine. Because financially successful.
It's financial, whatever.
Very financially successful. The man has three of the five movies that have made over $2 billion are Jim Cameron movies.
Good for him.
He earned it.
Are we getting Avatar 3 this year?
No, it's
2025, I think.
No, it might be 2026.
Yeah.
Got pushed back 2 years.
It's not coming out this year.
Tony,
damn.
Avatar is nothing if not being pushed back years.
I'm excited for it, man. Fuck.
Why?
Right. When would you hear Tony Baldwin is excited for an Avatar movie?
Yeah, but you know when you go see it, it's going to be another fucking technological fucking wonder.
That's
sure,
why.
But technology can only get you so far.
I just want to see if he's learned how to write a better story.
As
he has.
as I've proven now talking about
He hasn't.
Pixar.
He hasn't.
Technological advances can only take you so far.
We're upsetting Dave.
You're not upsetting me.
Dave has Jim on a pedestal.
He will always have Jim Cameron on
I do have
pedestal.
Jim. I have him on a pedestal, but I also think that he's a pretentious fucking douchebag who's up his own ass. But he also
can't wait for friend Jim Cameron's guest on this show.
Yeah.
But what
He'll
he's
be a pretentious asshole then too.
What he's given and what he's done and how he's changed everything. He changes every movie he brings out, changes the game.
Yeah. But and again, coming all the way back to your point, I don't think this was intentional though. I don't think Jim Cameron made this as a conscious choice of color palette and thing. I think I'm more talking towards the Gareth Evans, Edwards?
Gareth Evans.
Yeah. I'm more on that side than, because this doesn't seem like, this just seems like it was half baked. Like it was like, oh, I'm still trying to figure out this technology. Yeah, all right, it's good enough. And then he's like, oh wait, I could do this and this for the Abyss. And then he just didn't give a fuck. To your point, who gives a fuck about
he
True
probably
Lies?
just tried to improve himself. He's just like, okay, I'm still trying to figure this out. Oh, with the Abyss, I'm going to change this, and this. And it's like, okay, then Aliens, and I'm going to change this.
He was remastering these during coffee breaks of Avatar 3.
Exactly.
But I think there are also three different, four, because Titanic too. They're all very, very different movies.
Yeah.
So if he's playing with it in other ways type thing, it's because he couldn't do it on True Lies, right? Because True Lies isn't a CGI. It has a lot of CGI and special effects, but it's not a CGI
the same level,
heavy
it's
movie
not the same level.
as The Abyss is.
Yeah.
But also The Abyss is brought to you by the color blue.
But also, but then, Terminator 2, you said, is a fucking abomination of a transfer.
I don't think he even did it.
Yeah.
I don't think he even did it. Which is like the Blu-ray looks great.
Yeah.
On the 4K TV, Blu-ray looked perfect.
Oh, there you go.
So, but I don't think he did the 4K. I think if I remember right, he redid it to be 3D, and then whoever did the 4K remastered it off the 3D. So all the things he added on the 3D, or he would have done to the 3D version, got put onto the 4K. So it kind of looks weird because you're supposed to be watching it in 3D.
Right.
But I don't think he did. I don't think he did it, and I don't think he'll bring it. He'll go back to it. All of this to say, there's one special feature, and it's a 45-minute long behind the scenes thing where they talk about where it's like Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of talk about their memories. It's like from recently, and then kind of like some behind the scene footage, and then there's a trailer, and then like a bunch of like still galleries and the whole script, which I thought was cool.
That's cool,
because most of the time it was always like a BD-ROM thing, or like DVD-ROM thing. Like this is just like a still image where you can keep going, and it like has his whole thing. It has his notes on it, and
that's
kind of
cool.
like there's like blank pages type thing,
awesome.
or like there's like stuff that's missing from the movie, or like that he like, because it's a shooting script
sort of thing.
He crossed out and he fixed. So I think that's cool.
That's cool.
So it's not like it's not feature packed, but at least there's something there.
There's some cool shit on
There's some cool shit on it versus the typical like EPK fucking oh, I loved working on this movie, and this is how I feel about it, and this is the 2-minute clip that you can basically cut and use for anything that comes out the pipe. So it's not that. So it's a worthwhile thing. I still thought it looked good. I was fine with it. But I also haven't seen True Lies in forever.
Yeah.
So maybe if I rewatch True Lies and I saw the colors, I might feel a little differently. But it's still, it's very Islamophobic, and it's icky.
There's some icky parts. I watched it a year or two ago, and I just remember feeling a little icky about it.
It's icky, but it is very funny. And Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis are very, very good.
Fucking Tom Arnold, man.
And Tom Arnold's pretty fun.
Bill Paxton.
You can't ever deny Bill Paxton. I love that man.
Yeah.
And
not to be confused with Bill Pullman.
Never. Bill Paxton to Jim Cameron's boy.
Yeah.
Did you hear who I mentioned?
I did hear.
Grant Heslov.
Oh yeah, Grant Heslov. Oscar winner Grant Heslov.
Oh boy.
Yeah. One of his first roles.
The part where he has the camera and you actually see his face. I was like, hey Mel, that guy's won an Oscar. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, he's won an Oscar.
Yeah, well,
he's Clooney's buddy.
So did Jamie Lee Curtis, and so has Jim Cameron. Big Jim.
Okay, but like when you look at those people, you're just like, yeah, I could see it. Fucking Grant Heslov.
Yeah. Also, Tia Carrere.
Yeah.
She's very fun in that movie.
Yeah, she is.
And I found this out after. Do you remember, or do you have an image of what the cover looks like?
Yep.
Do you remember that there's a grenade on it?
Yep.
And it has a wedding ring as the pin?
No.
Okay, so there's a wedding. So the grenade,
because it's his face, and the grenade's further down, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The grenade has a pin in it, and it's a wedding ring.
Yeah.
If you grab the 4K, it's over there.
Yeah.
He's tossing it in the air type thing.
Yeah.
And it's a grenade with the pin in it. Apparently it's a deleted scene from the movie.
Oh,
really?
And it's not on, I don't know if it's on that disc or not, but it's when when he's getting drugged to do the truth serum thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently before that, when Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting there, Tia Carrere puts, because she said somebody said something about somebody's open legs, spread legs or whatever, and Tia Carrere puts a grenade between Jamie Lee Curtis's thighs, pulls it, so she has to like hold the grenade there and kind of like, because if she lets go, it's going to explode.
Yeah.
And then apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger takes her, after he goes on his rampage or whatever, he takes her ring, her wedding ring, and like plugs up the whole, like plugs where the pin
some
was.
wire with that and sticks it back in.
And it's on the covers, but it's not in the movie.
Wild.
So I never knew that. Because I never
Wild.
noticed that until recently.
Yeah.
That was, because I always knew it was a grenade, but I never noticed the pin was
The wedding ring.
Yeah.
But that's why, because it was in the movie.
Oh,
It got deleted.
Neat.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's probably in my script.
Probably.
So, but yeah, that was what I wanted to kind of discuss last week. But we,
yes, we did talk a lot last week, and now we've talked a lot in this one too.
Yes,
and I'm still not done. We could talk about this conversation for a long time.
I definitely think so. There's a lot of multifaceted elements to it.
We'll bring it back somewhere
when we watch The Raid.
Yep. Or whenever PD finally fucking delivers his nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point in our lives, hopefully.
Yes. Anyway, I think that wraps up this week, boys.
I think so.
We're back in 2 weeks, regular scheduled episode.
Mm-hmm.
As we get towards the end of April already.
Yes.
Which is just wild. But looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have more movies for you. More talks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Baghead.
Maybe.
And maybe more philosophical discussions about what art means.
And some docs.
Oh, yeah. Today's point, we're back in the Hot Dogs Film Festival. Yay! Very exciting. It's very, very exciting. I'm very happy that we're back.
Yes.
And thank you, Hot Dogs, for having us once again. I drove past the Hot Dogs Theater just yesterday.
Lovely theater.
And it was bumping outside, so I'm sure they were showing something, but very excited. I might actually go down and watch a film or two this year.
Do it.
So
Do it.
We'll have more docs to talk about. I'm very excited to talk and talk to you all. But until then, I'm still Jimmy, and I'm here as always with
Big Tasty.
Yeah.
And Dave.
Yeah. And this has been Finger Guns with Tony David James. And we'll talk to you later.